Engage. On screen. On screen.
What the hell is going on?
Engage. I want all the power you can give me.
I'm not sure I have a specific recommendation.
Not good enough, damn it! Not good enough!
Any idea of what it is or where it came from?
I'm not sure I have a specific recommendation.
This is no longer amusing.
They seem normal enough.
I shouldn't be so confident.
Make it so. I would rather outthink them than outfight them.
Engage. On screen. Let's investigate.
Enlarge and identify.
I shouldn't be so confident.
Engage.
I'm not sure I have a specific recommendation.
I want all the power you can give me.
Strange.
Slow to impulse speed.
Stay calm, everyone.
What the hell is going on?
Double dumbass on you!
I'm not sure I have a specific recommendation.
Stay calm, everyone.
Hello, computer.
Let's investigate.
It's a Klingot. A Klingon.
This is no longer amusing.
Appropriately sinister.
Macro head.
Stay calm, everyone.
Water landing. I have been designed to serve as a flotation device.
Slow to impulse speed.
Ad klaxon ris blaj blanarnik karnik.
I would rather outthink them than outfight them.
Smooth as an android's bottom, eh, Data?
I beg your pardon, sir?
There's coffee in that nebula.
Engage.
Slow to impulse speed.
What does God need with a star?
Strange.
Slow to impulse speed.
Klingons never do anything small, do you?
Not good enough, damn it! Not good enough!
They seem normal enough.
I think you did a little too much LDS.
LDS?
I'm not sure I have a specific recommendation.
Magnificent, isn't she?
I'm Captain Picard.
This is no time to argue about time. We don't have the time.
Optimism, Captain.
Engage.
A poop question, sir?
Move to intercept. How about all the power you can give me? Make it so.
I'm a tolerant man, but I do not tolerate disrespect.
In my opinion, sir, they're gibberish.
How about all the power you can give me?
I shouldn't be so confident.
My oath of celibacy is on record, Captain.
Now that's the kind of talk that I like.
Engage.
I'll tell sickbay to brace for hangovers.
I'm not sure I have a specific recommendation.
Assimilate this.
How about all the power you can give me?
He was an idiot.
Strange. Slow to impulse speed.
Stay calm, everyone.
What the hell is going on? I'm not sure I have a specific recommendation.
Stay calm, everyone. Let's investigate. This is no longer amusing.
Red alarm, red alarm, red alarm.
Macro head.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Coming to you live in Technicolor from the beautiful Hollywood Hills, California. The show where the total retail price of their advice is $0. This is Timelines Talks! Featuring guest musical performers, Metallica frontman, oh my, it's Stars and Garter. Also featuring, hey buddy, you're a tier 9. Look out, it's Automaton 2000. And now, from Spreadsheet City, here's your host, Captain Idol.
Building your crew in the game today takes everything you've got. Getting value from all your honor sure would help a lot. Wouldn't you like to learn to play? Sometimes you wanna go where everybody tears the game, and you have a side to blame. Be where you can see where tribbles are all the same. You wanna go where everybody tears the game. You wanna be where you can see where tribbles are all the same. You wanna go where everybody tears the game.
Timelines Talks is filmed in front of a live audience. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Timelines Talks, the premium exclusive #1 show, all things Star Trek Timelines. Welcome back from the holidays. I hope you all had a wonderful time. We have a very exciting show for you tonight, and I am literally jumping with joy to actually do this tonight. But, gentlemen, how are we this week? How are you, chat? I'm very glad we're back. It's been a while. It's been about a month, I think.
Roundabout, yeah. Yeah, every time that you tell me there's going to be some kind of special intro or special video, I'm like, I'm not going to watch it because I want to be surprised. And every time I'm like, I probably should have watched it so that I'm not sitting here like, what the fuck did I just watch? But then again...
That was a great intro.
That was the best
I've never seen Cheers, so it's kind of lost on me, but your voice is enough to lull the siren calls. So you know
Cheers,
what?
It's Tears, all right.
Tears, yeah.
It's totally different show.
Sorry, yeah. Legally distinct.
Yes. We've got a lot to go
through. By the way,
oh, yeah.
we are begging for a DMCA takedown this week. That's not the end of our copyright infringement.
Yeah, we're looking for an excuse to keep up the holiday hiatus, really.
If we've got a thing later on we're going to show, and if the stream suddenly cuts out, you'll know why. If the thing is, this channel has been banned, you'll know why.
I'm just going to DM all of our viewers with the big book link. Yeah.
So yes, the secret we have not been keeping very quiet. Yes, there is a new big book of Behold Advice. We will be showing that off a bit later on with a link to where you can see it. But first of all, we have a quick announcement. The next couple of weeks, next week we've got special guest Walt Koenig, the very person that bought us the Rachel Narn intro for the show. So we're very proud to have him on next week. And the week after that, Suncoast's very own Booter is coming on the show. So we've got a couple of guests over the next couple of weeks. We're starting the year strong. What next? So I promised on our Discord that we would enable the triggers, which you saw pre-show, for the subs. We'll be doing that later on the show. I'll let you know when you can have a play with those, and it's probably going to be madness and chaos, but we'll try. We'll see what happens. See what chaos you guys can rein in.
By the way, we didn't advertise this ahead of time because we're not trying to, suck out your filthy lucre. I should not have worded it that way. We weren't trying to advertise this, but people who are already subscribers are luxuriating in the Big Book website as we speak. So
we've got the.
You
the
never know
preview.
what fabulous rich perks can come from being a Timelines Talk subscriber.
You too could get.
Sometimes it's nothing.
Most of the times it's nothing.
Yeah, we can't think of anything. So.
Oh, brilliant. Let's move on to.
Guess what? If you have a suggestion as to what might make a good, like bonus for being a subscriber, you might earn yourself a subscription.
Yeah,
how about
that? Figure out some way we can make this useful for you, and we'll go. There we go.
Well, useful is stretching it a little bit, but like entertaining at least.
Guys, how was your Christmas and New Year's? And chat as well. How was your Christmas and New Year's? We feel like we haven't had a chance to catch up with each other for a while. Well, we did in Star Trek Adventures, but what did you get up to over the holidays? How was your New Year?
Sleepy. Lots of sleeping. Yes. Frankly.
You've reminded me, and I said this up so I wouldn't forget, my wife got me a mug.
Ooh.
That has Star Trek memes on both sides.
Oh, it's amazing.
This one says, Jim, I heard you had sex with a Brazilian woman. Kirk says, probably how many is a Brazilian? And then it has my name on the side, and then another Picard in Speedo meme, which, we got to keep the stream classy. So.
Oh, that one's too hot for TV. Okay.
For our stream? Come on. Is there anything for it?
Chat, how did you do over the last month? We've missed you.
I had a pretty hectic Christmas with the boys and various family members over, and it's just presents and wrapping paper everywhere before suddenly going just toys everywhere. So, as anyone with kids will sympathise, it tends to get a bit manic. But it was fun. We had a sort of chilled out New Year. Watched Jules Holland's Hootenanny, as the tradition is every year. You do. Every British person does for some reason, even though it's pretty terrible. But there you are.
What is it?
The Jules Holland Hootenanny. Jules Holland, a prolific piano player who I very much admire because he's an amazing person. He hosts various musicians and people in New Year, and then does the countdown and Happy New Year and all that. And it's quite good. But unfortunately, this year they had Ed Sheeran on. So it wasn't all great.
It sounds scintillating.
It wasn't great, but I have to watch it because that's what I do now. I'm old. I'm approaching 40.
Some people have religion. You have Jules Holland. It's fine.
I love Jules Holland as a piano player. Is amazing. Like he's a stunning piano player. But Anyway. Otto, how was your Christmas and New Year?
I'm sorry, do we have something important to talk about today or not? No?
We can waste time on as many tangents as we want, as is our want.
Well, they did release Tawiyan Alexander while we're off saying
Tawiyan.
Tawawoo.
I don't know. Stars, you're the Klingon expert here. What's the sword bearer best man pronunciation in Klingon?
I believe it's Tawiyan. I believe is how they say it in the episode.
Tawiyan.
Taiwan on? Yeah, okay.
Jesus Christ. Okay. Event winners. Congratulations this week. We're not going to recap over the last 4 weeks, but congratulations to everyone who won and ranked in those last events. But this week,
if you won those events, get screwed.
Yeah, fuck you.
You should have won on a week that we were doing a show.
Exactly. Never win events on the holidays. That's just not going to work. But yes,
the only people who get shit out for winning events are us when we're not on.
Yes. Congratulations to this Cisco who got himself a 5 of 5 COP Picard. So congratulations to the Cream King himself. For those that don't get the reference, go and ask him about his off-road experience there. Few little names there. Gazoo at number 5, Trailfia at number 19, Skip at 49. Again, Brodies, we keep mentioning them, but he's ranked, or they've ranked at 8 and 9, and then they were further down on the top 50 as well. So 3 accounts in the top 50. That's, mate.
I don't know what my boyfriend is doing when I'm not around, but clearly it's very industrious.
Dear oh dear. Have we wasted enough time? What do you reckon?
Possibly.
I think we could go for a bit longer.
We'll go for a bit longer. Okay.
Tell me about your dry January idol.
Oh, I am doing dry January, unfortunately. Basically, so the story is I got a beer advent calendar for December with 24 beers in it. So the problem is, you go for your number one, it's a very nice beer, and you go, well, I can't just have one. So I ended up getting pretty steamed for 24 days straight, and I just went, I need a month off. I don't even look at. However, I've got to.
Did you say that, or did your wife say that?
No, I said that, but it was noted.
I think it might have been his liver that said that.
It was also noted. There was a
Chat calls you a quitter. Bring back the alcohol idol. Come on, I'm drinking.
I will on February 1st, but I have relieved myself with an alcohol-free BrewDog because I was just like, oh yes, they do. Thank you, Nifty, for reminding me there is alcohol-free beer out there that I can still pretend.
I'm drinking the in-your-face West Coast IPA, 6.8% grapefruit infused. It's pretty good.
Vivid Illusions just give us a shout out. Jerry of Battleship Musashi, ranked number 7 in the event. Congratulations, Jerry. 7's a good one.
Grapefruit, I think, is an underrated fruit. I feel like that's like at least a tier 3.
Grapefruit's a fantastic fruit.
Yeah, I can't take
great
grapefruit.
ability.
I actually can't eat grapefruit because my medication that I take for various anxiety-related things says do not take grapefruit with this. I don't know what it does.
Well, you really are Malcolm Reed, aren't you?
Yeah, just get me that bromelain injection.
You're not allergic to the grapefruit. You're allergic to something the grapefruit contains.
But I'm just not going to tell anyone,
folks.
and you'll have to interview my parents.
Big book, big book.
All right. Well, before we're going to say this, before we have the big book, we have a bit of a feature presentation. Now, this is a bit of a cinematic experience, so turn your lights down low, get your popcorn out, go to the store.
This is going to be the peak of Timeline's talks.
Literally,
I promise.
I've been working on this for a few months, and the quality shows. Anyway, enjoy this feature presentation.
Next time on Star Trek: The Next Generation.
What am I doing here?
Commander Data is held hostage by powerful aliens.
If I help you escape, will you take me with you?
Will he break free and survive his capture? Or will he face death trying to escape?
No life signs.
Find out on the next exciting episode of Star Trek: The Next Generation.
She loved him once.
It can't be.
But when Kira's dead lover appears to be resurrected...
Security, we have a hostage.
I don't think Baral ever intended to hurt me.
Falling for him again could be fatal.
You're refusing to press charges.
Is this mirror universe double?
I'm a thief.
Orchestrating the ultimate double cross.
Think of it, the wealth, the power.
On the next Star Trek Deep Space Nine. Against the greatest odds,
Get us out of here.
the crew of Voyager is coming back to Earth.
Where are we? Los Angeles.
There's only one problem.
The year is 1996.
Now, trapped in the past.
They're about to cause a terrible disaster.
Can they stop a deadly adversary from destroying the future?
Human, get down!
On the next Star Trek Voyager.
The world is changed. I feel it in the bases. I feel it in the voyage score. I smell it on the artwork. Much that once was is lost. For none now live who remember it. It began with the forging of the Great Book. 3 tiers were given to the Voyagers, immortal, wisest, and fairest of all beings. 7 to the event crew, great miners and craftsmen of the cryostasis vault. And 9 tiers were gifted to the race of dwarves, who above all else desire power. For within these tiers was bound the strength and will to govern each voyage. But they were all of them deceived. For another book was made. In the land of Google, in the fires of Mount Sheets, the Dark Lord Automaton forged in secret a master book to control all others. And into this book he poured his hyperlinks, his dad jokes, and his will to dominate all crude discourse. One book to rule them all. One by one,
the free lands of timelines fell to the power of the book. But there were some who resisted. A last alliance of men and elves marched against the armies of Automaton, and on the slopes of Mount Sheets, they fought for the freedom of timelines.
Yeah, you're a fucking nerd.
Victory was near. But the power of the book could not be undone. It was in this moment, when all hope had faded, that Starzangarta's son of the king took up his father's sword. Automaton, the enemy of the free peoples of timelines, was defeated. The book passed to Starzangartas, who had this one chance to destroy evil forever. But the hearts of war fans are easily corrupted, and the big book has a will of its own. It betrayed Stars to his death. And some things that should not have been forgotten were lost. History became legend, legend became myth, and for 2,500 years the book passed out of all knowledge. Until, when chance came, it ensnared a new bearer. The ring came to the creature Idol, who took it deep into the tunnels of the misty spreadsheets, and there it consumed him. The book brought to Idol unnatural long voyages. For 500 years it poisoned his mind, and in the gloom of Idol's man cave, it waited. Darkness crept back into the forests of the world. Rumour grew of a shadow in the east, whispers of a nameless fear. And the big book of Behold Advice perceived. Its time had now come. It abandoned Idol. But something happened then the book did not intend. It was picked up by the most unlikely creature imaginable.
What's this?
A hobbit. No-name namer of the Shire.
A big book.
For the time will soon come when hobbits will shape the tears of all. Yes, and you can now go to bigbook.app and see the brand new Big Book of Behold advice. And I realised I forgot our joke segment we were going to do before. Is that the first time you've seen that, Stars? Did I not share that with you?
All the way through, yeah. No, I don't think because again, I don't watch the segments ahead. I want to be surprised. And two things. Where is your Oscar? We must have it in the bag. And two, no wonder you're big into being a GM. Like your voice acting skills are far better than mine.
So I do have. I was recording some of the recording sessions that I did for actually making it. I've got some videos which I've got on YouTube somewhere, which I will post. I'll post up for the subs soon, but I'll make it available to everyone at some point. But yeah, of me doing all the voices and recording things, it's quite fun. But yes, Big Book is now live.
Roy Kirk, are you watching right now? I know Roy Kirk's a mod on Reddit. I just had that Big Book thread removed because it included a link to our Discord server. So if you see it in the queue that it's been blocked, if you wouldn't mind restoring it, I would appreciate it.
It's spam. Don't bother. It's no one's getting the use out of it.
But no, that was a lot of fun to make. I've been teasing this on our Discord for a while now, when people are just like, why the fuck is he just posting Lord of the Rings memes about 3 months ago? But there was a few delays. But let's go in and have a look at this now.
Dude,
once we're here.
You started hyping this like 4 months ago.
I was so excited.
Like, it's not ready yet. So
first off, so big shout out to No Name Namer. This is like 99% of his work. It's outstanding what he's done with this. It's absolutely incredible. So this whole show is just going to be No Name Namer. You are a god among men for this. But also, say you and him and Auto were very much sort of getting together quite often. Lots of discussions, and then as soon as he saw the first prototype website, I was just like, oh my, this is exciting. I'm getting very excited.
And Namer asked to be on the show. He was begging me. He's like, please can come on the show, but. I've seen Namer. The dude is 6'4", 240, wavy hair, square jaw. I'm like, dude, you are not coming on this show. You will make us look like total schlubs, just like everyone else has come on the show before.
It's like Nicolas Cage in what's that film where he comes off the plane and his hair and his
Con Air.
Con Air, that's the one. Yeah.
So anyway,
but yes, let's show this off. We just need to pop over here and turn this on. And if we look here, here we go. So we got the Big Book of Behold advice right here on the screen, and I just scroll down here. There's a lot of text here. Mirrors, damn it, in tier 1 now. Gosh, look. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, hang on a minute. Hang on.
We put in so much work into this, you wouldn't believe.
It's crazy. I mean, look at all this text you can. Yeah. Wait, hang on a second. Oh, wait, 2019. Oh, this is the old Big Book. Oh, hang on a minute.
I haven't seen that in years, actually.
Have you not? This is the classic. This is the OG Big Book. This is what...
I still have some notes on it, for fuck's sake.
I used to read quite a lot of this. But okay, let's go over.
That was back when we were able to have hyperlinks in our notes. Yeah. It was a much happier time. I could make whatever joke I wanted, and I didn't have to explain it. I could just be like, go watch it, fucker.
Okay, are we ready? For people who haven't been to bigbook.app, here it is. Oh, wait a minute. Adverts? Shills already? Jesus Christ.
Hey, we got to pay for the server cost somehow.
Oh, it does say no credit card required, and I will meet my perfect match. And I think Daj is my perfect match.
She is in your local area. She is a hot local single.
Perfect match, so.
That's true. You are a bit of
Not really. He's not big enough.
No.
You know what my perfect match is. Not big
He's not Big McLarge huge enough?
Well, people have been pointing out in the chat the implication that Big is my daddy, so you know.
Jesus. Okay, right. Let's. You can, of course.
Okay.
Think through the implications of your work.
You can, of course, review.
Like the creator of any large tome and body of work, you are unaware of the effect that your work will have on your audience and how it will be transformed.
Auto, do you want to take us through?
Yeah. So BigBook.app will land you on the featured page, which I should have cleared my cookies. There we go. So this will basically show the latest crew, the ones who are still available in, as WRG likes to call it, merchandising, because that's such a great term to tell your players. So these crew are the latest ones up there, and if you scroll down, they have the note, they have the traits, they have the collections they're in, that information. Then they have something called, that we like to call the scorecard. Those colorful Pez candy little numbers. And green is good, red is bad. I think you guys can figure that part out. And that will tell you in what area they're good. And then, of course, you have the tier factored in completely scientifically. Can't be wrong at all.
No.
And actually, you can click on wherever you see a scorecard, you can click on one of those numbers, and it will take you to that dedicated attribute page. So if you click on Voyage, it will take you to where they rank in Voyagers, Gauntlet, etc., and also reveal a lot more information about them. Now, if you want to look at a specific crew from wherever you see their name, you just click on the name, and it takes you to their crew page. And their crew page has all the same information that you might find on the attribute page, it's just without the greater context. So if you look at Voyages, for example, you can see their unboosted score without any bonuses, the Voyage rank projections. So if you say, how good is it going to be in 2 years? If I sign them up, I want them to be a good Voyager in 2 years. They'll tell you pretty accurately about what rank they're going to be. They also have, anytime you see a blue words, a link, that means you can click on it, you can go there. For example, the Voyage Antimatter, if you click on that, it'll show all the crew who have the costume trait, who are Voyagers, or crafty trait, etc. I know there's a little delay, so I don't know how close you're following this.
I'm following
just
pretty
going to
closely.
keep talking.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
So back on the crew page, if you go down to Gauntlet, this is one I really love. It will show you their performances. If you're on Union Q's page, he has a number of good gauntlets. It'll show you the crit. The little number next to the tier is what they're ranked overall. So if you even to click on one of those, so go ahead and click on the top one, Dip, Costumed, Crafty, Scoundrel. This will take you to our gauntlet page, which a lot of people love. I love this. You love
this.
This
is so good.
It will show you in that specific gauntlet set, because the gauntlet traits are fixed and they rotate between different sets. It will show you in that gauntlet how good each of the crew are. It'll show you Union Q up top. It'll show you what rank is in specific pairs, show you which crew are the best to bring, and then if you scroll down a little bit, you see all the average rolls for that gauntlet. Now the gauntlet page, I think it's bigbook.app/gauntlet. That refreshes every day when the gauntlet refreshes. So if you're about to load up your crew, you can just go to bigbook.app/gauntlet, see who the top rank crew are for that specific day, and then try to plug in around who you have or who you might want to counter. So, yeah, the gauntlet page is fantastic. I think that's everyone's favorite.
Yeah. Speaking from my personal experience, like this has been live for us for a little while, just so that we can kind of make sure that the bot updates are pinging correctly and everything looks all right. And I've been using this to staff my gauntlets for the last good few months, and it does legitimately make a massive difference just to have it all there, so that you don't have to scroll down 3-4 pages of crew just so you can find that one crew with an odd pairing with a 65%. You can just have it all laid out here, and you can just do a direct comparison of, okay, this is the best one in DipSec. What's my best coverage? What do I have that's unfrozen? It's just a wonderful resource.
A lot of times it's hard to tell. Okay, if my guy's at 25%, his is at 5%. How close are we? And that will calculate it for you on average what score you're going to hit in a pair versus what score they're going to hit in a pair. So it kind of helps take the crit fuzzy math out of it for people as well.
There's also been a few
But
surprises.
if we jump back to
there's just been a few surprises in this as well. Like I'm noticing here, like Tactical Mako Mayweather is quite in that top. I wouldn't have thought that. Or I think the other one was Conflicted Cisco has actually been quite a better performer than we thought. So I think he's A tier for a couple of gauntlets as well, which is very strange. But no,
I've learned so much. I've learned so much working on this, because I'm like, I look at some data set that we produce. I'm like, there's no way that's right. And I'm like, oh, I guess my preconceptions were wrong this entire time, and I've learned something. So it's really
You've grown as a human being, and it's all thanks.
I've grown as a degenerate, but
we've now ruined Gauntlet for everyone. But there we go.
Yeah, there's going to be hopefully
we do. Yeah, no, we did that. Sure. Yeah, we were responsible.
There's going to be more walls than ever.
Okay.
All right. If we jump back to Union Q's page, then underneath Gauntlet we have events. From here you can jump to all the traits, all the hidden traits. If you click on, say, he's ranked as the number 5 Q in the game. So if you click on that little Q underline JDL, meaning John Delancey, you can see all the variants in game, how they rank for events, their bases, etc. And then on the page, which I really like, on the crew pages, you get the whole event history. So every event bonus they've ever had, it tells you the date. Those links are actually to sdtwiki.org. Wonderful folks at the wiki put in so much work there, and we're happy to steal a little bit of their work, rather than start our own wiki. So
collaborate.
Yeah, sorry. We've collaborated with SCT Wiki. I hope they don't mind. And so you can see if it's a variant event, if it's a trade event, etc., which is just fabulous for referencing. Under that you have shuttle. That's pretty self-explanatory what their bases rank, how they rank in each permutation of their skill. Collections, which everyone loves. This is my personal favorite part. We have proprietary collection rankings, and I don't have all the details of the formula in front of me. I'm sure Namer will be happy to spit them out later, but it is based on all sorts of different variables, like how big the collection is, how likely it is to happen based on overlap with other traits. For example, a telepath might be less likely because it's filled with like 95% Vulcans.
Meanwhile, someone at WRG is just going, no, they're completely wrong. We're never doing that collection.
Yeah, we're going to do Primal again. We're going to double up the Primal crew. I don't know. So you can see their collections. You can see their potential collections. And then that's at the top. That's another one of those attribute pages that you can navigate to manually. You can sort by, well, we'll get to that. So anyway, that's a collection page on the character page, which is great. Ship battle. This took a lot of work. To import all of the data, all of the passive data, initialization, I'm very excited. Initialization, duration, trigger, all that stuff. And this part is really the most subjective part of the grading, because how do you grade how good a crew is in Arena? So we did apply values to all these, and we'll be tweaking this in the future. This is not at all a finished product, but perfect is the enemy of good. It's still a great resource, if I do say so myself. We wanted to get out there, make sure everyone can benefit from it. So we will be making tweaks in the future, but there's a dedicated ship battle tab that you can go through. If you've ever want to sort, hey, who are the best damage crew or who are the best crit crew? Now you can do that.
How do I get to that?
And then underneath that, the most important part of the crew page, the flavor text. They have the crew's flavor text. We have scientifically, objectively tiered them. You have length metrics there, word count metrics, and then a little meta review of the flavor text, which not all crew have yet, but they will. Trust me, I'm working on it.
He will. Don't worry. Yeah. They will be there.
And then, of course, the variants at the bottom if you want to jump to another queue, etc. All right, I need a drink. So when do you guys navigate us to the next part of the big book?
Well, in fact, what I want to sort of bring up here is the thing I love the most about this system is that you can bring up any crew that you like, anyone that you want, and the way that scorecard system works, it is completely transparent. Like, obviously, there's a good amount of stuff, especially with the collection stuff. There's a bit of like you say, proprietary formula going on, but it's still relatively obvious where the data's coming from and how it reaches the conclusion it does, and it's very clear to say, the reason we think this crew is better on voyages is because of X, Y, Z factors, because of skill set, because of antimatter stating, because of relative rarity. It's like everything that you would want to know about a voyage and why we think they're good or why we think they're bad is outlined. And I like having that transparency because this should be an open conversation. Like the weighting here, as you say, the perfect is the enemy of the good. And there's weighting here that can be adjusted depending on various different factors. And that's like you said, it's an ongoing project. These are not set in stone, but this is probably the best resource I can think of if you want just a general overview of crew and you want to if you want to understand how the game works as well. This is a really good resource for that. It breaks down every area of the game and why you would want a crew or why you wouldn't want a crew.
Idle.
Hello.
Go to the top, go to ratings overall.
Yep.
Scroll down to the bottom and check personalized score weights to customize custom tiers.
This is very so.
This feature has been asked for forever.
Let me just reset this stack down to 10 rows per page. 10. Oh, it's set on 100. Never mind. Basically, for those that don't know as well, the tiers are now dynamic. This isn't set by anyone just looking at it kind of going tier 2. And then scroll off. This is literally, there's science in this now.
We never did that, okay?
I did, but we're not.
Well, let me just address this quick, because I don't, we have gotten our fair bit of praise, and we love all the kind comments over the years. That really has kept us going. It's meant so much. But there's also been a fair amount of criticism, too, that, that it's not mathematically based or whatever. It absolutely was. I can tell you how many new metrics we've begun tracking and almost invented just so we could try to analyze crew better. And so a lot of this data was already there in the background, but we are authors or spreadsheet nerds. It's not very easy to coalesce it all down into an easily identifiable grade or get it across to people. And that has, again, been Namer's strength, has been fantastic doing all this. This site is his baby.
Seriously good. And
yeah, making...
Yeah, go on.
Making the data talk to each other is incredibly hard, but like to go back to the point, like it is always a case of, we would always be having conversations in the Discord of like, oh, I think they're tier 3 versus tier 4, and then you would come in with some data set that you had been tracking that we didn't know about, and then suddenly, okay, we have an actual like metric here, and all of that style of thing is now talking to each other and in a dynamic weighting system, so you can actually get a relatively scientific, mathematical, not objective, obviously, because it's a case of different things matter for different people, but that's what the different tabs and options are for.
That's why we have custom tiers.
One last thing.
All right, you walk us through this one item.
Fragrance-free Vaseline also asks, so where are George and Gracie? This hasn't done the cadets yet, common, uncommon, and rare. I think that's sort of in the pipeline to come, so that's something that's going to be worked on at some point, but they will, I'm sure they will be in there at some point, but George and Gracie, yes, they're the tier 1, definitely. Yes, let's have a look. So this little button at the bottom here. So everyone is just saying, oh my god, you guys, you just prioritize Voyagers too much. Well, ha ha ha. Click this button, you can prioritize it however you like. So I just want to focus on Voyagers, put that bar up to the top, apply the weights, scroll to the top, there you go. You're now 100% Voyagers. You just say, I only care about the Gauntlet. Or if you want a mix of, say, Gauntlet and Events, I don't care about Voyagers. Let's lock Voyagers at the bottom, so you can lock certain things so they don't move about. Let's apply weights for that. Look at that. Gauntlet and Events, who do you reckon who's going to be at the top? Locutus of Borg, oh yeah. Tier 1.
I know a lot of people in chat are longtime Trek fans. If you guys ever play the old Birth of the Federation games, and you go into like the intelligence menu, and you can pick espionage or sabotage for the different races.
Cardassian always good for that.
So when we started the custom tiering thing, I said, Namer, can you do something like the custom sliders in Birth of the Federation? And he's like, no, that's kind of complicated. I don't think we can do that right now. And then like a half an hour later, he had a working system. Like we're fighting tiers. I'm like, I love you, Namer.
Bottom toggle. Oh, show crew with a custom tier different from the default tier. Okay, let's have a look.
Yeah, that's also an option. So it will show you with a little green up arrow or red down arrow what your changes have impacted on the default tiers.
That's amazing.
So you can see if the crew that you personally like or use a lot are rising, and the crew that you don't like so much are falling, then you know you're headed in the right direction with custom tiering.
Hang on, I've broken the website.
This reminds me a lot of a story I heard of a guy who got hired to a game company. That he'd been a player of the game for quite some time, and the very first thing he did was work on a bug that had been annoying him for months, years, and he got it fixed. It was like the only thing he wanted to do. And then once the bug was fixed, it had been pushed through to the live client. He just sighed in relief and then quit. And Namer is that level of dedicated to doing things right with a kind of obscene amount of complexity, but also just good UI work. Like, this is very intuitive to use. I really had to put my hat off to him. He's done such a good job here.
So much credit to Namer on this. It's amazing. I think he quit like 3 times making this, but this is entirely like. Obviously, Auto, you've done loads of big work, analysing the crew and what they should fit into, but it's like, Namer's done so much work in the back end, it's unreal. I've never known anyone put this amount of effort into a player-run resource, out of his own pocket as well. Like, this is, this
Yeah, I don't think he'll mind me saying this. He is paying for hosting out of pocket. And if you do load up, you will get a cheeky little ad that we put in for fun, so don't yell at us for not stealing your data or anything. But
I am actually running a dating site, so if you could sign up, I could find you the perfect match. If you want to reset this, just toggle it off and toggle it on again. It'll reset back to basic. But yeah, I think this is fascinating. If you want to, say, just focus on certain areas, or you think, oh, maybe they haven't weighted this much, you can apply your own tiers and make it.
It's very responsive too. I like that very much.
It's so good. Right, what's next?
Go ahead and search for Locutus of Borg and pull up his crew page.
Little known, cult favorite.
Hang on. Yeah.
Yeah, you may have heard of Locutus of Borg before. There are crew in the game that we're calling. Oh, make sure you mute that. You don't want us talking over ourselves.
I've turned it off for now. But yeah.
Well, no, go ahead to show the video review. That's why we're there. A crew we're calling Visible Crew. That includes, and I had this list somewhere else, Honor Hall Crew, Gauntlet Exclusives, the last 6 or so megas, Quinn, because he's always going to be there, and some of the Gold Fusion crew like Cheesecake 7, Reunion, Spock, and Kirk, we are adding videos because not everyone likes these dry statistics. So 2 or 3 of us get together, record these videos talking about the crew, and we're going to refresh them. Try to shoot for once a year because it is a lot of work getting everyone together and recording stuff across time zones. But if you guys are visual learners or audio learners and you want to do it this way, we have a little bit of data always that we include in that's maybe not going to be on the page, but we also kind of walk you through the page and say, here are the highlights, here's what you're looking for, here's why this crew excels. So for the most notable crew in the game, they should have, they're not all finished yet because the day before I went on vacation, Amer's like, yeah, I think we're ready to launch. I'm like, you son of a bitch, I'm going on vacation.
But yeah, no, these videos as well. Let's have a little listen.
Maybe the second most important thing about them is that great collection value headlined by the Challenger awaits.
Little sample. They say you're not doing them for all crew. Like
you picked the one line that I got wrong. It's Challenger approaches, not Challenger awaits. I can't believe I don't have memorized every name of every collection.
Right, shut it down. We start again. Let's play the Lord of the Rings video again.
In reverse.
But you can switch it to text as well if you do want to think. I don't know. The other thing we forgot to mention up here is this: on every part where you see the stats, you can actually switch it between unboosted and boosted. So unboosted meaning no starbase or collection bonuses, and boosted meaning what it shows at the top end. So you've got your options there as well to see what the stats are.
All right, there is a. You don't have to pull it up, but I will mention if you go to our. I think most of you guys right now are in our Discord. If you go to the Big Book 2.0. channel, you will see the Big Book bot has sprung to life and posted. I just added the crew notes for Explorer Cutler and Union Q, the 2 crew that were announced today. When we add crew notes, if there's a change to a crew's stats, sometimes they like to stealth change stats. Updates to certain stuff will pop up there. Whenever there's big changes to crew, say there's a new collection and that shifts the tier values of all the crew, that will be reflected. The Big Book bot will output the tier changes, so you're not like, whoa, what happened to this crew? Why did he drop or whatever? So that's another. Namer is like my fairy godmother that I wished for, and everything I wanted came true. So that's another great feature that's going to be on our Discord, and that also has links to the crew. So like when a new crew comes out, Lieutenant Ogawa or whatever, it'll have an output of all of her highlights, all of her information. You can just click on that in Discord to go right to her page. Go ahead and pull up idle Captain Silva LaForge's page, please.
Oh, the most exciting of crew.
Yes.
Oh, look at that. That's like a sunset. That is. That's like red sky at night, shepherd's delight.
No, that's what Geordie saw in Insurrection when his eyes grew back. It's like, I've never seen a sunrise. It's a Silva LaForge. Put it back. Ain't done yet.
One of these little features that hopefully will be very useful to people, but it's eating up like 90% of our calculation budget right now, is pole star retrieval stuff. So if you want to just, highlight that little line that says, Silva's best retrieval chance will decrease from 50% to 25% when these specific crew enter the portal. So it'll give you a little warning, a little red alert icon. If a crew is 100% retrievable, but they won't be when an existing crew joins the portal, it will tell you that. So if you're going back and forth between crew and a behold and you think, oh, I can just retrieve them later, well, check the page first, because it will let you know if that crew won't be retrievable in the future. Maybe you want to grab that first star now because it will be tough to get it later. So that is a neat little feature. Running that many pull star combinations is definitely taxing on the system, so I don't know if it will stay. I hope it stays, but we'll see.
Don't worry. If anything gets too intensive, then Namer will just put on the Stratagema gloves and then just start calculating himself and doing it for you directly to your computer.
We'll have an interfaced Namer variant, and it will tap directly into his brain because the computer's not fast enough.
It'll just be his holographic head saying, "I have achieved sentience." Just noticing, Silver LaForge, number 3, Command Dipsec. What are you guys on about? She's hot. Good stuff.
Wait, hold on. Is that? Are you? Oh yeah.
What it says here. Come on.
On Explorer seats in that specific skill combo in specific skill orders, she's the 3rd rank.
Well, there you go. Well, I'm just
gonna At this time of the year, localized entirely within your web browser.
Tier F and Gauntlet though, only 145%. Oh, 45%. You know, something.
Tier effing gauntlet. That's correct. All right. Go ahead, do me a favor and navigate to the ratings collection tab at the top.
Ding.
This is, we've been talking so much about collections lately. I think a lot of people are going to love this. Right now they are sorted, the default is sorted rating, which is again, it's a little bit proprietary, but it's a combination of existing collections and what we feel is their potential going forward. So you can sort by the rating. You can just sort by current if you want to see just by their existing collections. And again, there's a little bit of a secret 7 herbs and spices in there, 11 herbs and spices, about how big the collections are. So say resourceful is going to be more valuable because A, you need 1 billion of them, and B, if they ever stop expanding that particular collection, you're going to need them for longer than you will, say, I don't know, Klingon or something.
But also, what if I want to know who the worst crew in the game is for collection value?
Then you can click rating again, and it will reverse sort, and we get the lovely cadet Sylvia Tilly down there with no collections and no potential collections.
Ushan Shran, Ushan Archer.
So right now, the cutoff for potential collections is 10. If there are 9 or fewer crew in the game with a trait, we don't think it's very likely, so they're not going to do that. Now, if WRG, because they love those curveballs, if they introduce like a 4-trait collection or something, then we'll reevaluate, of course. But right now, it's 10 and above. So you can sort by total. You can sort by, if you click the little potential collections header on the right side, sorts by number of untapped traits. So crew like Iden or Obsidian Order Garrick, they have like 6 or 7 traits that aren't collections yet, but are viable enough, we feel, in the range of crew pool and not so much overlap, etc. That so if you're just looking at crew to site for your collections, I've actually been doing this for my own retrieval. I pull up the collections tab, I go by rating. A Borg Queen that's top, I didn't ever finish, so I retrieved her, and I want to try to maximize my collection value. So if you're a big collector, you're going to love this tab.
Do love.
What else do we have? Go ahead in the top on the right side. Click that Captain's tab, because this is very cool.
This is exciting.
We have the rank 100 data from players in events, and this is we're not going to be bombarding a WRG's API. I think this only updates when a player ranks in the top 100. So it shows your top finishes. You're ranked by where you ranked, and then you can look at how many events someone won or maybe came in second or whatever. You can type in, search your own name to see where you rank, and after the event,
it's 2 autos.
No, there should be 3. There should
Yeah,
be
he never re-rolls. That's weird.
There's a lot of autos. I have
What
a
kind of
lot
game are you
of
playing?
autos.
Oh, DC Pilot, yes.
So it will give you a little red down arrow or green up arrow if you're doing well in events or someone has passed you, and then you might drop a rank or 2. So it is a little depressing because if someone jumps above you and and you drop a rank just because you didn't rank that week, it's a little bit, whatever. But I think it's very useful for the competitive set among us.
My last top 100 was on July 26th, 2021.
Wow.
I am considered 1370 overall. Better than I was expecting. If you want a bit of an ego boost, there you go.
Yeah.
Just search your name. You'll turn up in there eventually.
There it is.
So
Yeah,
this
is
is there anything we haven't covered?
We've done Gauntlet. We can search in the top right. There's a little back page with our names on it. You can go to the Discord at the bottom. Join us on Timelines Talks. We do have a featured Big Book discussion page if you want to come and praise or rant at us saying, well, you've done this wrong. Or just have hopefully have an informed discussion. Not just go, this is shit.
Oh, that's a big hope. That's a hope.
No, this is stunning. This is absolutely stunning work. And you can even look at you can even sort the flavor text by length. Who has got the longest one? Miranda Jones. And it's even
That's
rated.
why she's tier 1, baby.
Tier 1 flavor text.
Yeah, so not from my end, because Namer's done almost all of this stuff on his own. I mean, we've consulted on some of the weighting and stuff, but it's, he could run this without me. I couldn't run this without him. That's all you got to know. So for my own part, I think I've updated 91% of crew notes in the game. I still have another 10% to do, and I have to add some flavor notes and stuff. Yeah, I've been slacking. It's taken me like
I think
5 months
you
to
guys
write
have
all
been
these,
like,
but...
you know, balls to the wall, just writing and coding and writing coding, and here I am just making dumb Lord of the Rings videos going, this is so funny, I put Star's face in it.
By the way, Idle has legitimately 2 hours of background footage of him recording Gollum's voice and all the Lord of the Rings stuff. I think he's going to release it for subscribers in the next day or two. So if you guys love that intro, which you should just play at the end because it was fantastic. We got to get mileage out of it.
We didn't get banned, so we're fine.
Yeah, okay.
No
We're still on the air.
Yeah, we're still here. But yeah, this feature page as well, you can just keep scrolling down if you like this one. Oh, do you know what? Actually, little detail I like about this on this featured page. The background represents the primary skill. So if they are sec background, it will have
the
torpedo room. If they are, she's sec as well. If they are med, they will have the med bay. Little detail that just brings a little bit of character. He just went, I've done this. I'm like, that's awesome. You're amazing. Neighbour is amazing. We do want him on the show, but he refuses.
Well, that's the thing. He is the humanoid figure. He is the shadowy bastard in the background, making sure that the game works properly.
Shadowy neighbor. But yeah.
Oh, I've already got our first. What's the word for it? First issue with images loading that someone let me know. So, Namer, you've already got to get to work fixing the site. Yeah, this has not been wide scale stress tested. I think there's like maybe a dozen people that have had access to it over the last few months. So. We've started sympathizing with WOG on a whole new level because there are so many devices that, like a few of my devices, maybe the text is cropped here, this and that, and Namer's been working on that all by himself. So we definitely sympathize with them having to quality control test on a lot of different devices.
No, absolutely fantastic. Okay. Yeah, so everyone, bigbook.app, spread the news. It's out, it's ready, it's there, it's amazing. I'm just like...
I have a question.
Hello.
It is singular.
Why was I the bad guy in the Lord of the Tears story? You guys slayed me and stole my ring.
So I conferred with Stars on this, because remember many months ago I said, Stars, I need some help writing this script.
Yeah.
And I think it's your idea to say, like, why don't we tell it like it's the story, the history, because it is the history of the Big Book. You started it, and then I think you left and Big took it over for a bit with Stars, and then you guys dropped it, and then I took it over, and then Namer came in, obviously now, sort of going from there. But yeah, it was sort of the oral history, so you kind of had to come first, but I kind of like the idea of the Big Book with everyone coming to attack it, going, no, this is wrong! And of course I had to
can't have this many tears, that's crazy.
Yeah, I had to be Gollum. But I think my favourite bit that made me chuckle the most when I was making it was when having Big as... I forget his name, Isildur's father. Look, if you're in chat, you'll know it.
Yeah, you fucking nerds, dude. I died laughing when that.
Not that bit is when he dies and his head hits the floor and he goes poopy.
Yeah, I noticed that and I was like, that's pretty good.
Poopy.
Poopy.
Does that? I thought I just got to put that in there somewhere. There was more I could do. I'm sure, like, there's little bits as well, because I had to get the Lord of the Rings soundtrack, but because the soundtrack doesn't have to have the sound effects, so I had to do all the sound effects, do gold. There's a lot that went into it. I'll put the production videos up soon. It was fun.
We've blown our production value budget for the rest of the year.
Seriously, and then also just like, I've recorded this Cheers thing. Can you make the Cheers intro for me?
Hey, I worked really hard on that, you asshole.
And then I knocked it together in 5 minutes this afternoon.
Yeah, when it comes to our award show at the end of the year, it's gonna be like, I all peaked in January.
Yeah. It's downhill for the rest of the year for now.
Okay, Namer, I know you're in chat. Is there anything that you want us to shout out from your end, or anything that we missed going over this? Obviously, you guys should be checking it out on your own bigbook.app. There's a lot to go into it. Again, it is not a finished product. We have probably in the next couple of weeks we'll be tweaking like the default tier weights and stuff. And why are crew moving tiers? Well, we wanted to get it out once it was structurally sound, but obviously there's a lot of tweaking and beveled edges to work on. So I hope you guys like it. We've loved using it. We've loved working on it. Stuff like the custom tiers, the daily gauntlet advice is stuff that you can't get anywhere else, and it's really changed our own gameplay. We've found crew that we didn't know we should have been using even after playing this game for 4 or 5 years. So it's been really great.
Why is it when you type idle in the search, it comes up with Soulball?
we do have 1 or 2 Easter eggs in there, yes.
Yeah, you can search by nicknames as well, so if you've got Q Hefner.
Yeah, I was going to say the nicknames are all in there. So if you have at any point coined a nickname which is caught on and is relatively catchy, you will probably be credited with the page with whatever they coined with.
Okay, all right. Let's have a quick discussion about the Convergence Day. So we missed over the holidays. The announcement of Convergence Day happens every year, and it's the same event, and we have a giveaway in the form of returning Saru. But there were also a few little announcements mentioned on the page. Kind of the one that's on... Go on.
Yeah, I have that pulled up. Let me go.
Go on, yeah, read that, please.
Run this down. I gotta admit, this is a little more than a little disappointing to me.
Pretty much the same as last year.
Our anniversary celebrations will not stop there. First, they talked about the objective event as though that is celebratory. Then later this month, you can look forward to new Captain Avatars, a new collection, which I think we're on 26 months in a row of those, a Time Portal update, and an elusive treasures pack, if you like those. So, I'll tell you what, let me pull this. Surely we have not influenced the votes at this point already, but let me ask if people are excited.
Red alarm! Red alarm! Red alarm!
Thank you, damn it, Jim. I'm a doctor. That's the best name we've had. Thank you for following. So we've got the portal updates, what everyone's most excited about, and we've yet to hear when that's actually happening. They have said in January, so expect it in the next couple of months. However, I know there's quite a few people sitting on packs. We might do a pack pulling stream when that comes. If anyone wants to come and join us, shout out, and we'll do something for that. But yes.
All right, polls up in chat. Let us know if this particular year's celebrations titillate you or not.
I think it's pretty much copy and paste from previous year, isn't it? We've got the new crew. You get a giveaway crew. Last year it was Luau Paris. You've got the Convergence Day event again with the disappointing Quark and COP Picard, and the Klingon Quark as the reward in the community rewards, which they've actually tweaked to be less now, thankfully.
Before we get breaking too far,
again.
Yes,
before we get too far, let me shout out what Namer had to say in chat. He put a lot of work into the search capabilities in there. So stuff I think, like if you search Honor Hall or Honor, it will bring up those crew. If you search Voyage, it will bring up Voyage exclusive crew. There's a lot of different. You can search by skill set, skill order. There's lots of little tweaks. So kind of the more you put into it, the more you'll get out of it. And it takes a little while to get used to it, but the search capabilities are pretty refined. And stuff like, I mean, no shade thrown to DataCore. They are a fantastic resource. But if you've ever typed in, say, human, and you're trying to filter out non-human, sometimes that didn't work. He's put in some work there, so you can really, even on the invisible traits, you can generally find what you're looking for pretty easily. I remember what it was like 2 weeks ago. I was looking at row layer invariants, and I said, "Yeah, I can't search for row variants. Can you fix this?" And he just added all the variant stuff at the bottom of the crew page within like 20 minutes. So I'm like, "Oh, that's even better. Thank you."
Is the typical, can you do this? I'm like, no, I don't know if I can. Then, yeah, like you say, 5 minutes later, I've done it. Wow, okay.
Done it, works perfectly. Next.
Yep, wasn't it? Yeah. He's breaking Scotty's golden rule. It's like, always quadruple your time. Then you look like a miracle. Actually, no, to be fair, he is a miracle worker, like literal definition of. Anyway, yes, so back to Convergence Day. Yes, they originally released it with the vastly overestimated community rewards like last year, even though they said they wouldn't, but it has been revised. Do you guys reckon we'll hit it? I think it's something like 3 billion or 30 billion. I don't know. I can't see
3.3 billion, yeah.
Yeah, 2.3 billion.
I think we will.
Do you reckon?
I think we got to like 4 billion last year. I don't know.
Most likely. I mean, no one's going to say no to an extra star on an existing gold. And chances are, if you've been playing for a year or so, you already have a copy from last year, or you've stumbled into one through an honor sale. It's not exactly exciting, but it is regular. You can count on getting these crew every time, just kind of like how you can usually count on the exact same crew on first contact day.
It ain't good, but you'll get a lot of it.
They've got to change up at some point, because after 5 years, majority of the player base, if they're still there, will be like, I don't need another Quark. I don't need another Klingon. Why they put Klingon Quark back in, I don't know, because he's a good collection piece, but
because everyone loves him. What are you talking about?
He's a bitch to equip.
That's very charitable. I wouldn't have used the word bitch.
But... Poll results are in.
For podcast listeners, are you excited for this year's Convergence Day? 78% say not really. 22% say, yeah, it's great. So, if you, I don't want to out you guys. If someone likes Convergence Day, let us know why. I mean, we do a lot of
faint praise.
We do a lot of veteran whining on this show. So, you know, if we have these crew done or the crew are like 4 years old and we don't think they're very good, that's one thing. But it is nice that they celebrate it with a recurring something each year, even if it's could use a little pizzazz.
Speaking of the Convergence Day, should we talk about the reward for this week's event? Back to normal, boring stuff.
And you all can pull them up on BigBook.app along with us.
And these
you can read alongside.
These stats on screen are straight from BigBook.app as well, complete with a tier. The tier is back on the screen, which we've not had in about a year or so, whenever it was we pulled it. But yes, Lieutenant Ogawa, MedSec, Voyage rank number 27. How excited are we for this crew that isn't Command DipSec?
So I feel like we need to get the winding out, first. I'm not a massive fan of the art.
No, it's terrible.
So they actually
cardboard cutout.
Yeah, we did find someone posted. I don't know if it was Shia Porn or someone else shared a reference photo. That actually is her face. It is like point for point her face. But they took it from like a different pose and then put it on this body pose. So there are a certain crew where they go too realistic and they just like trace the over the like a reference photo, and it's almost like maybe you should draw this one by freehand or something.
Yeah, it's like a little bit of, I don't want to say animation because a little bit of life poured into it would have been helping a little bit. But it's like one of the worst thing I can say is the art is not great. That is a good lead-in because pretty much everything else about her is pretty superlative.
Shia Porn in chat says WRG needs to do some sort of live celebration or virtual convention, perhaps in association with us. Timelines Talks. Convergence Day would be as good as any a date for it. They have expressed to us before that they're looking forward to being a part of our next charity stream, which we don't have the date for, but we would like to theme it around perhaps the next honor sale, because that's a great chance to get you guys involved. You come on the stream, you share your pulls, your excitement, and everyone has something to contribute, which is really great. So I think they may be working with us on the next sale. Of course, we just had one in December, so it may be a while, but that's something that we're looking forward to there. Ogawa is... If you know the name Warship EMA, she is essentially a refresh of him, maybe even a little better because of a few little trait tweaks. So if you've been using him for 2-3 years and been happy with the results, this is almost a direct refresh on Voyages anyways.
Yeah, you're not going to be getting anything like his event viability, because I believe our most viable event traits are Physician, and the other ones are fairly dire, but in terms of antimatter voyage traits, they're pretty stellar. You can't really go wrong with Physician. You're almost always going to get a seat with that.
Yeah, the one really neat trait with her, and we could quibble about this. She has the Tactician trait.
That's so weird.
And
why does she have that?
So they use Doc EMH as a doorstop in that episode when the Borg are trying to break in. In the movie, and then she does evacuate them. So. You could stretch that. I went back and maybe we can get a shot of her carrying a baby out of sickbay, and then we can give her the caregiver trait. I went back and looked at when they did this big announcement almost a year ago now for the last big trait audit. They said we want to try to apply value where we can. So if there's kind of an edge case trait, I'm okay with allowing it most of the time because it does add value. It differentiates them, makes them easier to retrieve, makes them more valuable. It's kind of all good things. So the Tactician trait isn't 100%, but what is really neat about Ogawa in particular, there are 3 crew in the game who have the Tactician trait and Med. It's Evie Suit Worf's tertiary, it's Delta Flyer Paris's tertiary, and then it's Ogawa as her primary. So when you hit on that antimatter seat, that's as tailor-made as it gets in terms of antimatter bonuses for that trait for Ogawa. So.
Ooh. Okay, that was not supposed to be me. Sorry, Nifty was complaining that his sub trigger didn't come up, so I've triggered it for him.
So you subscribe to yourself. Very good.
I just triggered
Incredible.
Just before you go on, one thing we did actually promise the subs we would do is enable the triggers for them, which we haven't done yet. So I'm going to do that very soon. So give me a second while I do that now, and you turn these ones off. So subs, if you go into the sub channel on Disco, and go onto the pins, you will see a list of commands you can trigger. So let the chaos resume.
Everyone's watching to see what you will do.
There we go. Right, carry on. This is going to be fun.
What else about Ogawa? She is sort of a one-trick pony.
But what a trick.
Yeah, what a trick.
That's one of our lines from the old Big Book, as is.
We don't have the time.
Okay, I'll turn it down.
We have tons of time, don't worry.
Do, yeah.
Yeah, because it is a case of, one trick, but what a trick. This skill set is primo. It is primo.
So one thing I do want to mention, she has 2 collections right now. And normally we think, well, that's pretty damn good, right? A crew has 2 collections. But I think we kind of forget how many collections they've added at this point. If you go to... we're going to keep plugging...
Red alarm.
Thank you for following Skinny Hobo. You're
we're
regretting this already, aren't you?
No, I'm in such a good mood.
It's great. I'm having the time of my life.
We finally released this. I'm in a really good mood.
Oh, I'm in a good mood, yeah.
So one of the things I didn't realize before is how many crew have multiple collections. So, if you go to bigbook.app and search by number of collections, there's like over 300 gold crew with 2 or more collections. So it's nice to grab for sure, but it's not really a deal breaker, a deal maker anymore.
I don't actually have Big Book on the screen. I should put the link on the screen so people can follow it.
That's a thought. That is an interesting thought. But
during the Borg attack, Ogawa helped evacuate casualties from the Enterprise E infirmary.
Double dumbass on you.
Couldn't even be better timed.
So in Insurrection, the movie, Ogawa has exactly 2 lines. One of them is her arena ability name. So the fact that they gave her flavor text at all is like, all right, that's fine, because she only has 2 lines in the whole movie.
Okay.
So, in conclusion, don't go for her. I need multiple copies so no one can compete.
Yeah, just rubbish crew. Don't do it. Don't
just quickly tweak positions and resourceful anywhere else. Don't worry about it. Just don't. I will
take
shoulder
the burden. We're the experts, apparently. Okay, moving on.
I will be back.
Oh gosh. Okay, you've just killed my layout. He's back. There he is. There we go. Right, okay, moving on.
Frame rate.
Not this week's. Next week's reward is the crew we were just talking about, and showing off the Big Book is Union Q, Sec Dip Med, Tier 3. 3 collections, Void Rank 82. What do we think? What's his gimmick?
Beautiful art.
Lovely art.
Yeah, no, guess what? Those outfits.
Sinister.
So I'm kind of torn because he does have an expressive look on his face, and the navy blue is sharp, but it's another crew just standing there. So I wish we could have gotten a little more in that department, but
we could have the cue that when he gets sort of a bit ruffled with his uniform off, like when he's in the
he's been shot,
yeah, that would have been a good one for the Union Q.
No, don't worry, that'll be another variant because we need to get every single Q from every single moment of screen time, which I'm fine with.
Every frame will be a card.
Damn right. I'm waiting for a drug sniffing Marine Q. I'm wondering what they're going to call that one.
Yes, World War III Q, I think, would be the politically correct one. Yeah. Notice how there haven't been any Jem'Hadar crew lately. It's because of the war on drugs. That's what I'm saying. Can't show Ketracel white usage on stream.
All right, Chad. I'm throwing a pull up in chat. I want to know what you guys focus on when a new crew comes out. What do you want to acquire? Is it shuttles? Is it voyages? What kind of game system do you like? Because I've seen opinions run the gamut on Union Q. Someone said he's garbage, his bases aren't good. Someone else said he's great, look at his big gauntlet crits. So this is not your typical base voyage crew. He excels in gauntlet. He is a top 20 by raw proficiency, but he has... when WRG put together these gauntlet trait sets, they really like the Q stuff. So stuff like Scoundrel and Costume and Crafty, that shows up a lot. So he has 45% gauntlets. He has a 65% gauntlet. He's got a good skill set. because there's not a lot of sec med competition, and outside of Locutus, you're not going to see a lot of walls of sec dip either. So he kind of fits a really nice niche for Gauntlet. I think everyone should try to get at least 1 star if they play Gauntlet, because that's kind of all you need there, and that's a strength.
What's the event?
Yeah, and these are some...
What event are we doing to rank him enough? Sorry, I've got my iPad in front of it, so I can't see.
It's Ogawa's event, so the one after Convergence Day, I think.
We were informed.
A faction event? A skirmish?
Q takes Janeway to the Q Continuum, recreating the American Civil War to try and explain to her why the Continuum is at war with itself. There's no punctuation in that sentence, and it kind of hurts me to...
It is a galaxy faction, for your information.
Thank you very much. That sucks. What tier would you say the flavor text is?
Noted, beloved purple crew, Commander Uhura.
Oh, yay.
You know, the two skill are so bad that you don't even use her in her own featured events. So
we have already tiered his flavor in tier 4. If it weren't for the lack of a comma, that's really holding it back. He would have shut up. Because length 135, that's a very girthy note.
Do you realize how many of the... That's the clip I need. Do you realize how many of the community on Memory Alpha you've just pissed off by tiering all these? No? Okay.
Now, I don't know what you're talking about. All of this text is organically grown. It's responsibly sourced. It's all original content. There should not be any worry about that.
So good Gauntleter, you're saying, with Q, and I'm thinking of doing the same, getting the 1st star and just, riding that high.
Well, I'm trying to think of what your competition in terms of MedSec would be. It'd be Fury Kess, Warship EMA.
Mirror Flox.
It's the 2 Floxes, yeah.
Yeah, just because of the big med roll.
The nice thing is there are very few walls of MedSec Rune Gauntlet because there are no exclusives, so not everyone has them. Defensive Flox would be the closest, but you don't always get walls of him, so... Plus, Union Q's strength is crit anyway, so you're going to take him at the 45%, the 65%, in which case it kind of doesn't matter who someone else brings, because he's going to roll them, so...
Isn't it nice to see a crew that's built for Gauntlet?
You mean like Gary Mitchell, vaunted Gauntleteer?
No, I don't mean like Gary Mitchell, vaunted.
What did we do those segments if he wasn't good?
I think you can correct that. Isn't it nice to see a crew that is built interestingly?
Yes.
That is good at more than 1 or 2 things in the game. It's nice to see something that has a bit of unilateral utility.
Absolutely. We like this crew for that. And that's why he's tier 9 now.
Computer. Erase that entire personal log.
Oh, well, clearly our commentary is worth jack shit.
Okay, I take that on my cue to move on. Let's talk about these super rares we have. We are going to get... Okay, with the event you can get with Q is Explorer Cutler, and thank God they've released this character because it's one of my favourite characters from Enterprise. I think it's very much a fan favourite, and a big shame that the actress, whose name I have forgotten...
Kelly Waymeyer.
Thank you very much. Has actually passed away shortly after, I think it was season 2, season 3, was it?
She passed at the age of 33, I think, which God knows she go
tragedy.
She played 2 characters in Trek. They both have a card in game now. The first is Lena from that Voyager episode Muse. The second one is this one, which Cutler was in, I think, 3 Enterprise episodes.
And
she was kind of set up as a semi-romantic / comedic / intellectual foil for Phlox. It was a nice little relationship, honestly.
Yeah, so this first one, quick synopsis of the episode. They beam down to Paul wants her because she's an expert in insects. So they beam down for a pseudo shore leave kind of thing, and they're exploring the planet, and they get this delirium and start attacking each other. So I guess that's why she has sec primary. So the skill set sort of fits. In the later 2 episodes, she has more med focus and the interplay with Phlox. So it's nice that they sort of differentiated what she is in this episode versus the later 2. For our podcast listeners, what's your focus to acquire for new crew? 63% want Voyage crew, 25% look for collections, and 6% look for shuttles and Gauntlet. No one cares about the arena. Well, I tell you what, BigBook.app will cater to you because we have all the arena information imported there. You can sort by any metrics that you could possibly imagine.
Okay,
but how could you not care about the arena? How can you not care about arena? You could earn Jaeger schematics. Doesn't everybody love the USS Jaeger?
1,000 credits.
Yes.
1,000 credit Poitlus.
So yeah, this is a great car because I think if she'd have lived a bit longer, she would have. I imagine they would have featured in more episodes. She's very much a fan favorite. Even those 3 episodes she's appeared in, it was a stunning represent. I'm glad she's representing the game, and she's got a decent chunk of collections, and it's actually pretty decent for Voyagers as well. If you're in that sort of echelon where super rare cards matter.
Yeah, no, if you join the game at this point, you'd be like, oh, look, there's a car, Cunion, as I believe he's been dubbed, and Cutler. I'd be like, he's a good crew to start on, actually, and good at any point in the game, really.
She is very... I think someone at WRG, God bless them, said, okay, they knew what they were talking about. They said, okay, this actress died young. We're not going to get another chance to make a card for her. Let's do it right. They didn't copy from Memory Alpha for the flavor text, which reads, an entomologist, Cutler's expertise was in high demand on the surface of the planet that would become Archer 4. They gave her top 5 voyage metrics, a top 5 base. They gave her, frankly, more traits than a lot of crew have had recently, including 3 collections. Probably Explorer's going to have one. So they did right by her. I think she even has instant damage, albeit behind a cloak trigger. So they made this a great crew top to bottom. Established players and new players can get something out of it. Sex size, not a very common stack. So, yeah, like you said, if you're starting now and you get her, maybe you don't realize how lucky you are to have a purple this good right off the bat.
Definitely.
I think when I would have started the game, I probably would have gotten, 2 or 3 copies of Mirror Geordie LaForge, and I think that investment probably hasn't paid off quite as well as this one will.
Built for Gauntlet?
I started an alt around the Minuet Mega.
Oh, wow.
So my first gold was Minuet, and I think the campaign at the time was Amanda Grayson as the purple. So I'm like, oh my god, these crew all suck.
I can't remember. I think my first purple was Martia. That was who I got first. I was like, oh, okay, she seems cool. Oh, and
Scenes.
Yeah. Anyway, okay, let's talk.
Well, hold on a sec. I want to hear Stars talk about it, because Stars is the Ent expert, and I know you watched it somewhat recently with your boyfriend. So talk to me a little bit about Cutler and maybe some other bit players that you want to see from Enterprise.
Well, put me on the spot, why don't you? You know what? There is one character who I believe is also a bit of a fan favorite, and that's Seth MacFarlane's character. I believe it's named Ensign Rivers.
Yeah.
I feel like that would be an easy one to get the license for, because Seth MacFarlane is a big enough Trek nerd that he would get a kick out of knowing that he's in this Trek game of all sorts. There's a few little Enterprise characters. Who else could we get? I feel like there's still a few engineers that we could get.
We do have one to talk about coming up, the first Maverick Vulcan game. So if you want to cue that one up next item.
Yeah, let's do that.
Stars, continue to wax lyrical.
Yeah, no, Cutler's just good fun. I do feel to a degree she kind of steals a bit of what Hoshi could have been doing in terms of being a scientist who's new at this, who's expressing the sort of the human interest in exploring, but she's a bit more idealistic and optimistic about the brave new frontier, as it were. Whereas Hoshi was always a bit more neurotic, and it was just nice to have a bit of contrast between crew, because especially in those early episodes, it came a bit across as, why are we even out here? Every episode we're in horrific danger that we don't have any way to prepare for.
Terrible.
And it was just kind of nice to have... Yeah, no, why do we bother? Why do we even bother? And it was just nice to have a bit of contrasting optimism for that. As you say, I would have loved to have seen her pop up again in future episodes, because they do mention her after the actress passed away during the whole Zindi arc, but obviously they couldn't really do anything past that point.
Optimism, Captain. Do we have that trigger?
We do have that trigger. I can't trigger it.
All right, let me find that.
Hang on, no, it's only on subs only at the moment. Hang on, I think I can trigger it here. Here it is. And it didn't work because I turned it off. There we go.
Professionalism.
Hang on.
Professional.
Oh, there you go.
Optimism, Captain.
Thank you.
Thank you, Racing and Cold as well. Thank you both.
Just get hit with it 5 times in a row.
Yes, Kov is now in the game, as the Tuesday pack this week is a Vulcan Maverick Engine Psi with obviously the Vulcan collection. Guys, worth dipping into the Tuesday for. What do we reckon?
Cobb served as an engineer aboard the Vauclus. He struggled with the decision to reconnect with his estranged alien father. So yeah, the episode was they come across. I don't know why I watched a few N episodes. Suddenly, I think I can steal Stars' End intro. I'm sorry.
You're
my
more
friend.
than welcome to give me your, because I think you're a little bit happier with, especially the early episodes of Enterprise than I am. I tend to think that it hits its stride in season 3 and keeps on going. You have a little bit more lukewarm on 3, I think.
1 and 2, I like. 3 dips, and then 4 comes back strong.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think it's like 4 is unabashedly amazing.
The short version of the episode is Enterprise comes across a ship of Vulcans who have, of course, the Vulcans of End period were total dicks. They like, if you're not super strict and super locked down with your emotions, we don't want you.
Red alarm.
Thank you, Mad Pony X, for following us.
And Cranky Suncoast for subscribing.
Yes.
It's a Klingon. Klingon.
It's Enterprise themed.
Hey.
So Enterprise,
thank you, Commodore Williams.
Enterprise comes across a ship of Vulcans who they still embrace logic, but they don't think they need to suppress their emotions. So they're more in touch with their emotions. They let them out a little bit, but they're like a hybrid between humans and Vulcans, sort of emotionally. So
Is guy this the episode with Valar? Or is that a different?
No, this is the episode where T'Pol has memories of a club called Fusion that she visited back on Earth. And I believe this is also the start of her mind meld arc, where that was kind of like a kind of a metaphor for AIDS, but not really.
Good old Rick Berman, keeping it into the early 2000s.
Yeah, repping it for us gays.
All right, so if you think of, I think of the Alarans when I think of Kov, or this episode. If you remember the Alarans from TNG, they're the 3 guys who came on board and they wanted to learn about humanity. So the one guy antagonizes Worf until he beats him up because he wants to learn about that. The other guy won't stop eating chocolate because he wants to learn about pleasure. So Kov comes aboard and he starts asking everyone about their mating rituals, and he wants to learn about humans and overcome his prejudices. And then it sort of takes a sharp turn in the second half where the Vulcan High Council or whatever contacts Enterprise, and they pass along the message that Kov's father is fatally ill, but Kov won't speak to him because his father rejected him when he decided to not live this super stoic, no emotional life. So Tucker tries to talk him into it. He says, "Look, you only have one shot to do this, and you're going to regret it if you don't." So finally, he talks Kov into contacting his father, who it turns out found this medicine that works, so he'll live. And Kov says, "Thank you for talking me into that." So it's a neat little emotional arc, and he almost starts like a comedy character, and then takes a sharp turn. I think the actor, who's by the way named John Bland, what a great actor name. I think he does really well in this role.
Yeah, especially because I'm looking up his stuff on Memory Alpha, and apparently he was originally named Frat, which means he would have originally been a frat boy.
I saw that too.
So wait, he changed his name to Bland?
No, the
his full name
character
is John Harrington Bland.
The character Kov was supposed to be named Frat. And
Frat, right, got it. Sorry, yep. I'm there.
Frat Bland Kov. That sounds like my next band, really.
Sounds like a German beer. Frat Bland Kov.
It does.
Are you drinking some Frat Bland Klov? Okay.
Okay.
Activate the red alarm, Frat Band Klov.
The crew itself is another top 5 Voyager name. But we also just had in the same skill set Quarren and Badge challenged Linus. So kind of his strength no one really needs at this point. I mean, he's a marginal upgrade there. And then he has 5 traits that Idle, you pulled him. Why did you pull him?
Because I'm a collection fiend and I can't help myself. It's becoming a real problem. I need someone to intervene. But he is +1 Vulcan for me, so that's why I pulled him.
The problem is, Idle, is that your collection fiend tendencies make for too good a talking point on the show, so we're going to just enable your addiction. And when you are eventually ruined by it, we'll be like, well, someone should have done something.
Please give generously. This is a registered charity. Collection addiction is a genuine mental condition. Please, all hearts and sympathies out there. Guys, objective events apparently are never ever stopping ever. Seeing as we're having now another one again and again, they seem to be happening now every week with the same format again and again, moving slowly from topic to topic. It's quite hypnotic.
And no one has a chance to interrupt.
Yeah. I mean, I've been quite down on these kind of objective events. We'll get to the other type of objective event where, if you can win recurring crew in a minute. But yeah, these kind of general, it's a faction event. Prepare for a galaxy, prepare for a skirmish. It's just a bit like, I just don't care. I look at it and I go, oh, I can claim something. Good-o, and move on. I don't know how you guys in chat feel about the objective events and how it's now kind of getting into a routine where it's just going to be constant midweek attention to fuse crew and runaway missions and blah, blah, blah. It's
the immortalized crew one that's the really egregious one. I think they overestimate how often we immortalize crew at a certain point in the game.
Pull us up in chat. Do you guys think objective events will ever move out of the beta phase? I may or may not have included a snarky option or two in there.
But follow-up poll, do you think Star Trek Timelines will ever move out of beta?
Oh, low blow. Hey, don't pick on them right after we've released the big book, all right?
Guess what? The game may still be in beta. The big book is in a far grander state of completion than the game will ever be.
Hey, it runs better. On a more
true.
But yeah, I think that fusing and immortalizing crew every week is for such little rewards. I know crons are a little bit tasty in there, but we've spoken to the words of tanking before, where it's especially now in the moment you can get the bonus reward. You can probably earn that in about half an hour, if not less, just doing a few tanking missions.
And your Voyagers do it for you in the background.
Exactly, and that as well. So it's like 200 honor for... The thing I'm seeing is people strategizing. They're saying, like, oh, I'm going to hold these crew back. And if you're into that, fine. That's great. But they're saying, I'm holding back these crew I've earned from this event, or I'm getting, I'm pulling credit packs and getting these and just holding them in my roster. And it just feels like you're filling... people's rosters are thin as they are. People often complain they haven't got enough crew slots. They don't have dilithium to buy more. And now WGRG are asking them to hold crew every week, unfused, just to try and get a few crons, and I feel like that's the big weakest part.
Well, it's also the labeling of it as an event, and when you call it an event, it does imply a certain. Well, no, here's the thing: even with the regular events that we've had every two every week or whatever, you do at least get something worthwhile, something new, something that makes it at least feel eventful, something that you are looking forward to or strategize around. Objective events you can completely ignore, and that almost by definition makes them not an event. Like, if I get invited to go around to someone's house for dinner and then they go, but don't worry, you can completely ignore it, it's not much of an event, is it?
Yeah.
So if you complete 40 ship battles, which is locked until you complete 40 away missions, which is locked until you complete 10 cadet missions, you can win 30 0-star Latinums and 20 basic gold press Latinums.
Ooh. Wow. I do like Latinum.
Yeah. I think the Ferengi...
I've got a lot of Latinum. I'm not even joking. I've got like 6,000 Latinum or something.
Yeah, I don't doubt you. I don't doubt you do.
I can understand. Why did that trigger not work, or did I miss it?
Don't know. No, I don't know why that didn't work.
We do have a cooldown on them, so...
Actually, no. Oh, Goose has got this worthless gold, worthless gold. Nifty, look at the pins in the sub channel.
There's nothing here but worthless gold.
There you go.
There we go.
I definitely, for podcast listeners, will objective events ever move out of beta? 77% say, lots of love, you must be new here. I'm sorry, laugh out loud, you must be new here. 23% say, yeah, Grandma, get with the times. 23% say, yes, rewards will improve. I can definitely understand, like, if you're doing dailies anyway, maybe you just take a little detour to get this extra rewards, and that's fine. It's not that intrusive. But on the other hand, I mean, if your big event of quarter 3 and 4, and maybe this year's quarter 1 and 2 is, you don't have to go out of your way for it. Like, if that's the big selling point, then they could definitely do better. So
it's a beta.
Do you not?
It is a beta. I think most people have kind of enjoyed the month-long ones where you get a crew out of it. You can sort of relax, take your time. If you don't play every single day, you're not super penalized. you can still complete stuff, and you get better rewards that way. So I think if they tweak the rewards, maybe tweak some of the timing, that it could be more well received.
I think the one, because we've got the one that's on at the moment for returning Saru, who we'll talk about in a moment. I think the one bad one on that is and I've seen universal complaints about it, was the gauntlet achievement. You have to get 200 in total gauntlet rounds. I've seen a lot of people just going, I know a fair few people, they've got all the gauntlet crew, or they just don't engage with it all and just going, oh god, really? And even like.
But don't you love getting three round streaks and getting 20 chronotons or a single relay?
That just triggers that part in my brain that for some reason fails to release endorphins. Don't know why. Just I sit here with the bland expression on my face and go, yay. But yes, I would say that's one. But yeah, no, overall, I like the month-long ones. It's sort of like an evolution of the achievement events. Essentially, it's the same thing, really, than what we used to have, but in a flashy pink box. But
well, I'll tell you what, then let's talk about returning Saru. Because in some ways, he's kind of a letdown. In some ways, he's pretty impressive. So I want to hear where you guys land on that.
Stars.
And this is where you talk.
So... Idle. Let's play like a game of charades. Okay. So what I'm gonna do is it's okay, yeah. So.
Okay, 3 words.
Yeah.
This is great for podcasts.
I think I know where we're going here.
Yeah. Like I'm tapping on my chair. Like you can't really quite see it, but no.
Waiting.
Think about
Does it start with a C?
Yes, it starts with a C.
Does it rhyme with shemand?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, command.
Yes, first word, command. Okay. Second word.
Talking. Explaining.
Yes. Yeah.
Relating.
Mm-hmm.
Relating.
Yeah. Like giving
almost diplomating.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
Okay. There you go. So second word, diplomacy.
Doing a diplomat.
Command, diplomacy.
Third word.
I knew you were gonna go there.
Well, if the DMCA don't take us, then we're definitely getting we're definitely getting taken off for suggestive behaviour. Brushing your teeth? Is that what that was?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, come on, dip, only brushing your teeth.
So this is a great command at brushing your teeth crew. Saru leaves Kaminar and turns down a position as captain to offer Discovery his insight and support.
So let's talk about what we were talking about earlier. You're a new player in the game. You come back and you said, "Oh wow, there's this big event going on. I can join a crew." And, oh, cool! And I know some people actually have joined the game at this point. And you look for returning Saru. It's an absolutely fantastic card to get for your first card because he's high voyage rank. Okay, common skill set. A couple of collections, really great art. It's great we're getting season 4 crew this early as well. It's a lot earlier than I thought we would do.
And you know what? I have to give them praise that, like, after the previous one where it was you had to get ship battles using the Discovery, and there were if you didn't have Discovery, you kind of SOL. They've included schematics of the ship you need to use for the ship battles, so that you can actually, if you're a first-time player, you get a gold
Discovery,
ship.
though. They did do that in the last one. They did include Discovery schematics in the objective event.
I feel like they gated it somehow, as if you had to do something.
Yeah, I can't remember what it was. You had to do something, one of the objectives first to get the ship, then to do the rest. But yeah.
So for first-time players, it was a bit of a mare because you had to, especially, or if you're playing on an alt, for example, you would have to go through a bit of a hoop. Whereas here, it was relatively easy to get to the ship schematics. So I'll give them credit on that, at least. That's a nice way to change up the structure. But I will say this: he did manage to sneak onto some events. Some faction shuttles for me because he is just a ridiculous dip base, even at 4 out of 5.
It's crazy. He's like second to Sato, isn't he? Professor Sato, the diplomacy queen at the moment. Like he's outrageous. He's got a huge dip base and he's a strong voyager. It's looking good. But also, tell us the counterpoint. I mean, well, obviously the argument is we've had a dearth of command dipset crew lately. With
I threw a poll up in chat, and you guys can tell us if you're happy with it. He's got huge power, but he's also very repetitive in a lot of places. One little quirk about this crew is he has the exobiology trait. But it only appears on science seats on voyages, so he can't even use that trait on voyages. This is another thing I mentioned earlier that kind of opened my eyes. If you're following along with us on BigBook.app, you'll see that his collection rating is number 304. But he's got double collections. Well, sure, but so do 300 plus other gold crew. So it's like, it's nice for a giveaway. Look, no one's sneezing at a powerful giveaway. That's not the point. The question is, we had a choice of votes. What if we had gone Culber and got maybe a med crew in the mold of Ogawa? Like maybe that could have been on the table. We'll never know. So he does have that great power. In fact, we have him rated number 1 for daily shuttles, which factors in the kind of the skill seats that you'll see. So his diplomacy is scarily close to Sato, who we thought might retire, end the game as the number 1 dip base, and maybe that's not the case anymore. So. Yeah, his two kind of bland attributes, dip primary and command dip sec, they are so often refreshed that he's going to fall from grace sooner than others. But the power is just there, so you're going to use him a lot as well, especially on shuttles.
And you're also especially going to get a good amount of event news, because I'm pretty sure outside of the Discovery Megas, he is the number 1 Discovery crew in terms of getting variant events, and he's been getting a lot of...
I think Burnham, but he's might be second.
Love.
He does.
He's been getting a lot of love recently, especially because, between Vihari, returning human, he's getting a lot of power crew. So, especially if a Saru faction pops up in the future, you are going to be loaded. So they seem to be lavishing a lot of attention and love on Saru, which I think everyone is relatively happy with. He's a cool character, but it would be nice to see other characters from Discovery getting a bit of focus.
Let's talk about the art, because it wouldn't be a Timeless Talk show if we didn't, pick apart the art. I think most people really like it. I like the top half. The bottom half, his legs look comically thin. Like he looks like he belongs in.
He has been slimming
like
down
a Sunday morning comic.
I think it's
and
just
then
the
the hooves at the end are just hilarious. So
yeah, he's got his hoofs.
I mean, it's noted string bean Doug Jones. I would believe that if I looked at him at the wrong angle, I would be able to see past him like a quantum string.
He's actually 2-dimensional.
He's always facing the camera.
You've heard of Paper Mario, now get rid of Paper Saru.
Hey, I would play that. That'd be a great game. Can you give me all the Discovery and the theme, Discovery episodes and the theme of Paper Mario? That'd be brilliant.
So I think all three, because they did show in the announcement the art for.
Shut up. Yes, thank you. Thank you, Google.
Thanks, Mum.
For podcast listeners, are you happy with returning Saru's statistically? 83% say yes, unlimited power. 17% say no, stop with the command dip suck, please. So I guess most people are happy with him.
The captain.
Yeah, I think if we look down the breakthrough of all the command dip set crew we've had recently, starting with sort of like Fenton Picard, Demos, we've had some other names that my brain's not working right now.
By the way,
how far back do you want to go? Do you want to talk about Lee Nalis? Do you want to talk about Kira?
And a lot, Lee Nalis, when we came out, he looked great. We thought, hey, this is a good crew. Okay, crappy skill set, but now, no. If you took him, Saru's came and just spoiled your whole day.
They did just buff Commander Demos. They added about 40 max proficiency total. So it's a tiny little, he bumped like 5 voyage ranks or something. But if you had pulled his packs last week and got him, that's a nice little late Christmas bonus for you.
Speaking of, shall we skip ahead a little bit in our notes and talk about Commander Demos, which is...
We have notes?
Apparently. We have a whole...
They just say Big Book in all caps.
It literally, Big Book returns in bold across the top of it. Commander Demos, another TAS crew, which is absolutely... What was it? Someone wrote in one of the Discords somewhere, the name for it is Tuesday Animated Series. There we go, because they're all released on Tuesdays. I quite like that. Another Command Dip set crew, which is roughly around the same kind of power as all the others, but with some funky looking art, which is quite nice. I like the art. It's a weird crew.
Racing Liners in chat points out that Shan did say we will see the winner or the losers of the vote, Gray and Culber, down the line at some point, but we don't know
in 6-packs.
Yeah, in 6-pack, and they're going to be so much better than Saru, and we're going to go, why did we not vote for these crew?
Well, I vote for Culber many times.
I vote for Culber as well, so you know.
I found if you refresh the page in incognito, you could vote again.
No use crying over spilled demos.
Yeah, he does look.
I will not read the flavor text this time. They just copied it from Memory Alpha and moved a few words around. So guys, do better there.
Yes, definitely.
The art. Let's start with the art here because I kind of hate it, but I also kind of love it. It doesn't really fit with the whole timelines gestalt. But at the other time, on the other hand, it's like it's good, it's well done, and it's like that is kind of what he looks like in the episode. So where do you guys stand on that?
I like him.
I think in terms of translating how he looks over to a more realistic art style, it's not quite as successful as Score to Char, because that was incredible. That was very well done. But on the other hand, he's not nearly as embarrassing as Lara. Because I look at this guy and he actually has a degree of depth to him. Yeah, that's not a bad one. He actually has like a degree of depth to him. I don't feel like I'm looking at a cardboard cutout. He is turned slightly so I can actually see, like, shadowing and there is a degree of detail here that I don't feel like you have with Lara. So I would give it that. But it is just a kind of a kooky design. He looks like he should be in Star Wars, not quite in Star Trek. Considering, you've got your reference picture there. That's a pretty good likeness, to be fair.
A little bit of shading, and it's all right, actually.
He looks high as a kite.
Detailed in the original, so
it does, doesn't it?
Dude, he looks totally blasted out of his mind with those red eyes.
This is the episode with the holodeck, isn't it? So maybe he's just come out of there blazing.
How do you do, fellow kids?
No, I think it's good. I really like the art. I think it's about as close as you can get represented, and it gives a little.
I just realised they gave him a happy little smile.
He did, yeah.
If you look at his face, he's got like a. Whereas in the original art, he looks all grumpy. There you go.
So,
Tier 1 art. They made him happy.
Well, you can't just throw around tiers like that. We have to convene the council. We have to agree on a tier. Okay.
Well, you know what? He reminds me of those pictures that people were posting all over about DS9, where it's like realizing that Odo looks like this, and then it was those little potato shapes that look like happy smiling faces. It's like realizing Odo looks exactly like those.
I haven't seen that. Amazing.
You have kids, Lyle. You must have had those like little like smiling like potato faces.
Oh no, I
Odo, and you can't see them the same way again.
I was eating them long before I had children. They're great. Potato smiles.
I still do.
So I think this is an example of WRG shooting themselves in the foot. This is the third top 15 Command Ipsuck Voyager released in 6-packs in the last month. We also had Lieutenant Sahil. Who else did we have? We had one or two other power names. I don't know why they felt the need to release all these similar crew back to back, like 6 of them in a month. If they hadn't have done that, I think a lot more people would go for demos. He's a top 5 command base, which is it's a harder skill to stack than diplomacy by a little bit. He's got some interesting traits. He's got a great voyage score in the art. I think a lot of people like Shy Porn in chat likes. I think we've agreed we kind of like it on balance. So if they would have spaced this out, if they wouldn't have done them all back to back, I think they could have had more sales that way. So I'm not sure why they always do it that way. We were just talking about who was it, Linus and Quarren and whoever that new crew was. Same skill set on purples, 3 of them within like a month and a half. And I can't help but wonder if maybe they're leaving a little bit of money on the table, and maybe players like us who sometimes dip into 6-packs would take the plunge if we didn't just have Sahil and Fencing Picard and everyone else. So I think they missed a trick there.
Yeah.
Look, if you can't cannibalize your own sales, then what's the point of having a game?
Okay, let's talk about the campaign. Let's talk about the campaign that's currently ongoing. That's nearly at the end. We're sort of heading. I think tomorrow will be an announcement for the next campaign. But since we're still in it, for anyone that's on the cusp of whether they should purchase or not, let's talk about Archer and Porthos, man and dog, one and all, the legendary Dip Command Sec, who's taken a bit of a beating lately with all these Command Dip Sec crew being released. So here's one in a campaign, but it is an Archer variant, and it's quite a nice. This is the Riser episode, wasn't it? Where Archer tries.
I believe it's called 2 Days and 2 Nights.
Yes, which I don't remember a lot about this one. I remember there was a love interest, wasn't there?
There's a few A and B and C plots. The B plot is where we get Tourist, Tucker, and Reed, where they get fucked over in the bar and left naked. The C plot is Hoshi getting laid, and the A plot. Oh, there's also a D plot of Mayweather getting injured, and they have to wake up Flots from his hibernation.
Oh, that one. Okay, yeah, I remember that bit. He's really.
And
grumpy.
the A plot is Archer having a daytime soap level romance with a woman who is in the hotel room opposite, who ends up being a spy who's looking into him because of the concentration camp episode earlier in the season. It's a bit bland, and I feel like that's kind of reflected in the fact that it's 21:54 and he's wearing what people would out onto the Clapham Common, whatever.
So his love interest in this episode, Dae Young, or is it Dee Young? She plays Hannah Bates in TNG's The Masterpiece Society. She plays Odo's love interest in DS9. Her name is Arissa. You can really go down the rabbit hole with this. Her older sister plays Esri's mom in DS9, the episode where she goes home. So it's like these two girls are pretty intertwined with Trek. They're good actresses, and they are fine, so I don't mind watching those episodes. If I can be a little bit crude, so...
Shy Porn brings up a good point. Was she a wannabe Vash? Was this just the Enterprise's captain's holiday, but with, less sitting by the pool, just wanting to enjoy their books?
Yeah, she basically drugs him and then, steals his information or something and runs away.
And then nothing ever comes of it.
Yeah.
As is often the case with Enterprise.
That's a typical Star Trek thing. There you go. I like the card.
Yeah.
It's
got cute art. Any excuse to get Porthos in there is always well worth a shot.
He was a Tuesday.
I wouldn't mind getting. I believe so. Yeah. I wouldn't mind getting another version of Mirror Archer with the big Mastiff version of Porthos. I think that'd be hilarious.
Yeah, not one that's
you
just
can put them both together on the bridge.
Come at me, lads. Come on. I'll have you.
Come at me.
We just got our first casual event this last week. Yeah. So.
Yep.
I mean, well,
that's all there's to say about that.
we've talked in the past about a pet collection. I don't know if they would. It is sort of kitschy. It does seem like it's up WRG's alley, but at the same time, they'd have to manually select all the pet crew in the game, and they're not the best at auditing their own crew. So, yeah, he's pretty trait light. Casual, pilot, inspiring are the ones that are there. So he has a collection. If you're buying a campaign for a collection, maybe that's not the best use of your money, but...
I mean, Voyage rank 103, if you don't have many pilots, I could see him maybe scooching in on a Voyage there, because there's not a ton of really good pilots. He is
Archer and Porthos are about to snog. I'm sorry, Apollo. Can a mod ban him, please? That's not appropriate.
That love between a man and his dog should be sacred. And he is a dip base. If you like collecting those, God knows why you would.
I did get a love bite from Pumpkin, my cat, yesterday, and I'm like, oh, she loves me, and I felt really happy. So, what do you look concerned about? You've never had a love bite from your cat?
No. I don't let my cat eat me.
Well, you're a bad father then, because I tell you what, when they really love you, they sink their teeth in you.
Every morning she's by the door as I open it going, ah, and I look at her and I have to point at her bowl, literally my finger in her food before she goes, oh yeah, I got food, and then she eats it and then I go to work. And that's all I see of my cat. Anyway.
A love that will span the ages, truly.
Bless her. The other crew you can get, which is for free, 344 Rise of Bashir. Now, this is one that's actually a little bit more exciting than Archer and Porthos, I think, because he is...
Quick poll in chat, if you guys want a pet collection, pardon me, or not. Definitely. I think I could do without it, but I think most people probably want one.
I like fun collection.
It's up there with Pointing Collection.
Pointing Collection, Hat Collection. All the stupid things. Holding a gun collection.
If he gets fused.
Thank you, Craigie. Thank you, DC.
Lita and Bashir perform the Bajoran rite of separation while on Ryza, which means they, sleep around with other people.
So, I have to say it. What the fuck is this outfit?
Oh, this is peak.
This is worse than Jake Sisko wearing a bus seat. This is.
This is a choice. This was a choice. But
Did they ever print those magic eye things where you have to stare at it for long enough before you can see what the image really is?
Yeah, the image says I'm totally not in love with Garrick.
Yeah.
And then you look at the top at the lilac sweater vest, and I'm like, I don't believe that, mate, but whatever.
Problem is, if you treat it like a magic eye, I've got to stare at his crotch for longer than I'm comfortable with. So, moving on to the card. 2 collections. Eugenics is hard. Physician is hard. This is a good one to get 4 of 4.
Bashir is hard.
Well, you can see. Look at the trousers.
Well, but again, we have so many double collection crew in the game that I think if you're in the end game, you're going to try to grab all the purples you can anyway. But if you're going at them just for collections, that's maybe the wrong tack in this situation.
Well, he was also a 6-pack crew, so hard to access. And for personal thing, he is the second to last crew I would need to get the final tier on Eugenics Wars, because the rest of the crew in that collection are trash.
Thank you, Rest in Pieces, for subscribing. Thank you very much.
Unlike our subscribers, who are all wonderful, they are
all amazing people. Yeah, like you say, this could be the last tier you need on tier 60 of Physician, or you might have that 25th Eugenics crew that you need. I think there's weight in having someone especially free 4 that fills a couple of slots in an otherwise harder collection. I think is a great offering, and that's about his only appeal, I think, really. I suppose Dip Med in the SR ranks is decent.
He's a very good Voyager. Yeah, he's got really
I
good...
imagine he would probably perform kind of like how Tourist Quark used to perform. From the same episode, in fact. Who I remember holding down Voyagers for me for a while I was still using 4-star Voyagers.
So I just realized he also has the casual trait. Do you think WRG tried to link a theme together with this campaign?
It was a bit themed, wasn't it?
Yes, the Rise of theme.
Yeah.
Really? I think that's the first time they've actually themed a campaign before.
They've themed campaign. Oh.
Yeah, notably they have
Guys,
that theme
come on. Come on, I'm taking the piss.
You need a big sign above your head that just says, I am taking the piss.
I'm a better straight man than I thought. For podcast listeners, do you want a pets collection? 77% say yes, 23% say no.
What would they have thought of each other? That's what I asked.
Yeah, that was the offender, wasn't it? Okay.
By the way, we have this idea that we want to do down the line where I don't know, tier is the wrong word, where we run down all the campaign that we've had so far, and we get your guys' input from chat, and we figure out what's the best themed campaigns and what are the best statistical campaigns. So that's on the backlog somewhere, but yeah.
Okay. Taoian Alexander.
Taoian!
That was released a few weeks back, and congratulations to the winner of that event. Apologies, I can't be bothered to open the app and find out who you are. Voyage rank 247, however, 3 collections. One of them, Spit and Bailing Wire isn't a tough one these days. Original Thinking and Hechorakta is slightly more difficult. But guys, what do we think of Alexander's other debut in the game, other than the 2-star variant, and technically Kumdar, if you count him as if you count James Sloyan as an Alexander variant?
I do.
Dude,
amazing art.
If we ever do another themed episode, we should do the James Sloyan themed episode.
Sloyanuary?
Didn't we do all of James Sloyan's cards once? We'll have to look back. Genos, let us know.
I think that was maybe Richard Hurd.
He's our designated archivist.
Yeah.
Alexander's change in deployment accelerates Jadzia and Worf's plans to marry, where he serves as his father's Taoian, or sword bearer. Excellent length metrics, by the way. If you go to bigbook.app and sort by length, you're going to see Alexander right at the top.
There are, in fact, 2 length metrics, but the other one is a hidden feature for Patreons.
Yeah, that's for Patreons. All right, stars, Klingon, go.
So, good on collection value, awful on Voyages, amazing on art. Really don't like Alexander in DS9. I feel like they absolutely screwed up his storyline. I think it was terrible. So one thing I'll actually hold DS9 to account and be like, that you fucked up on. I didn't like it at all.
He just appears at the bar. He's like, hey guys, it's me. It's like, oh no, what are you doing?
I'm played by a different actor, and I have apparently not retained any of the character development I had over the last 4 seasons of TNG. Yeah. But that's fine. Yeah. Amazing art. Honestly, if you can get a copy of it just for the art, perfect.
Oh,
what did we forget?
Vamp quickly. We forgot something. The most important part about bigbook.app.
Was it something to do with Alexander?
Possibly.
What the link was
Remind me, didn't Namor zoom in really?
So if you tap on their art on mobile, they have pinch and zoom functionality. Oh my god, look how close you can get to that belt buckle. If you are an art fanatic, go to Big Book. Oh, that's my wife. All right. Go to bigbook.app and pinch and zoom. All right, I quit. Someone else, go.
I'm just trying to pinch and zoom. Oh, hang on, I can pinch and zoom just on the app.
Doesn't he have a tiny little art mistake? Like he has a tiny little dot on the top right of his art.
Does he? I can't.
I feel like
pinch and zoom.
I feel like Nemo was pointing
pinch and
out,
zoom,
and I was like,
folks, find out what the issue is. No, it is. It's very sharp. It's very sharp art.
Epilotus, if you like Alexander in DS9, I'm not going to take it away from you. I just personally didn't like the way they handled it.
Okay, so I like this card overall. I think he's too. I think he's too good, because if you watch I think he's too good. If you watch the episode, he's a complete bumbling fool. He says, "The more mistakes I make, I'm kind of like a good luck charm. The more mistakes I make, the more safe the Rotarian crew feels." He's a bumbling fool. He has no redeeming qualities. You know, when they do the test of courage or whatever, he faints right away and talks about his grandma in his sleep. So it's like the guy's a completely pathetic figure. So it's great that they gave him power to match. You have to have duds here and there, or the stars can't shine. So it's good that they gave the dud actual like thematic link to a pretty pathetic character in game. I think he's too good because he's not resourceful. Go back, watch the episode, read the text. He's the exact opposite of resourceful. He spills this like coolant all over deck 6. It smells like burnt targ, they say. Like he can't do anything right. He's a bumbling engineer, which he does have engineering for a reason. He's not
I think
resourceful.
the actual scene in which he's breaking the news to Worf and Jadzia that like he's going to be changing deployment, he like knocks over like a poor waitress's like drinks
he goes,
and something. It's like,
and his arms. Yeah.
How did someone as cool as Kayla and someone as cool as Worf produce that?
Well, he went to live in Russia for a bit, and they were like, "We've already raised one Klingon. We're not doing that again."
Cooler.
Oh, thanks, Walt.
So, I do really like the crew. I think they gave them great flavor text. The art is fantastic. Okay, Stevie Wonder. I think he's appropriately terrible. Really, my only quibble about this would be they actually gave him one too many traits. So, you know.
Well, they love shoving resourceful anywhere the sun will shine. So
yeah, I feel like we're getting a lot of these really big traits just because they want to.
Well, Linus was the big offender there, where it's again the exact opposite.
Yeah.
Idle, can you give us a rendition of Jungle Fever?
No, but isn't she lovely? No, okay. Do you guys want to talk about the super rare crew that we missed? Martine, Linus, and Marlena.
Yeah. As long as you're singing "Isn't She Lovely," can you bring up Marlena Moreau, please?
I can indeed, and we'll talk about the couple of TOS bombshells that have been released. Yes, Mirror Marlena Moreau, the Mirror Collection, Simed, Dip, right, Voyager, okay. But guys, yes, great art. Go. Good episode. I love this episode.
It took little time to realize that Kirk was from a different universe, but sending him back wasn't easy.
That's right.
My meta comment on her flavor text read as following. I'll just read the first sentence. A shrewd and cunning officer, Marlena finally gets her shot at Timeline's immortality, and her entire note is spent talking about Kirk. So that's my quibble with it. She actually was. She was Empress Hoshi Sato before Empress Sato. Like they have the cunning, guile, but very charming and beautiful women who, you know, they're treated like eye candy because the mirror universe is loaded with machismo. But she was actually, you know, pretty cool in her own right. So she blinks the enemies out of existence with this hidden technology, and she's a cool. Yeah, she was a cool little addition, so she's a decent Voyager. You can use her there. And if you're like Idle and chase one collection spot at a time, she is in Smoke and Mirrors. So,
Smoking Mirrors? Oh, I didn't realize you thought so highly of her attractiveness. She just looks at the mirror.
I take life 1/4 collection at a time.
Racing Linus says tier 1 art. It is good art. She does have the sort of the beehive. Don't take your glasses.
No,
I'm
I
gonna
can't
make
actually
you change
see.
your glasses again.
I can't actually. Oh yeah. There you
Respect the hair flips. Come on, change your
for
glasses.
fuck's sake.
I've got a compromise. Put one set over there like that over one eye, and then the other one over like that, so at least you'll have one eye working.
I'll do this. There we go. Look.
You've never looked better.
Now we're all Commander Demos. Carry on. Don't let me stop you.
Thanks for joining us this week on Timeline Stalks, everybody.
Shit.
Incredible, truly.
Do we have nothing else to say? She does have the romantic trait, which I don't know. February is almost upon us. It's begging for either we'll have a mega in February, or a collection, or campaign, or something. Give us something romantic themed for February.
They've been resisting it for a while now, but maybe for February they'll finally do it.
It's like
get
go on.
2 scoundrel megas, but we won't get romantic, even though it's.
Why would you not release White Rabbit as a campaign crew at Easter? That White Rabbit and Mintark and Troy is like the most obvious combo you would do at Easter for a campaign. Then come on, it writes itself. She's got the basket picking up eggs. He's laying the eggs. I don't know how Easter works. Okay, let's talk.
What kind of Easter do you have at your house?
A very strange one, I'll tell you that.
What kind of chocolate are your children eating?
Moving on, Angela Martin, the other TOS bombshell that has come more recently. I believe she was last week's only in Survivalist, however, with Secdip Psi, which is an unusual combination for a super rare card, I believe. I think that's quite unique.
WRG has deemed her not human for whatever reason. Doesn't have the human trait.
She was the woman that got married in the Balance of Terror episode, wasn't she?
Yes.
And she was in another
Which is
one
hilarious because they obviously went to Memory Alpha for her flavor text, but they didn't notice the thing that says species human right under her picture on Memory Alpha. So, I don't know. Again, another reasonable Voyager.
Species, human, legs, GAMS class.
GAM class starship, yes.
Yeah. She's okay. She's a filler. I mean, what do you want?
Yeah.
They gave her Survivalist and Explorer, which is about all you can kind of squeeze out of a bit part on TOS. So.
Not romantic, even though she got married?
That could have counted.
No, she's romantic too. I'm sorry.
Okay, I was going to say, please don't tell me they fucked that up.
Well, but I mean, that one's obvious. So going above and beyond for Explorer and Survivalist is kind of nice.
You say obvious as if they didn't miss the fact that she's
human.
Or
Okay.
Navigator Stamets is Starfleet, for fuck's sake.
So here's one we could do. You could do Angela Martin. You could do her husband or groom-to-be. And you could have a fusion crew where they both fuse.
To be, yes.
And they could fuse into dress uniform Kirk giving the wedding. There you go. No? Anyone?
That would be fun. I would like an originals of them like married happily ever after that we never got in the show. I don't know. Hopeless.
I wouldn't mind that actually. That'd be cute.
Running from.
That'd be an interesting
blasts.
Romantic thing for some kind of mega event.
Wouldn't that be strange? And finally, last week.
Boy, we're just flying through these.
No.
What's there to say?
One of my favorite scenes from season 3 of Discovery is when, obviously the tricorders, not tricorders, the bad tricoms. Well, yeah, that's what I was trying to say. They tap them, they can teleport anywhere, and Linus is having a lot of trouble. He just appears in random scenes, going, "Oops, sorry, new badge," and zooms off. And I absolutely love that scene. So I'm kind of glad that's represented.
Linus is my favorite. Linus is great.
No, Linus is brilliant. I've not seen enough of him in season 4 yet, but
he's Discovery's own Morn, and I'm really happy to see him.
He has another copy-paste from Memory Alpha for his flavor text. The last couple months, I think WRG went on vacation early and didn't do their job, so do better, guys.
Please.
Stars talk to me about the resourceful trait, because they can't figure out how to work the comm badge, but he's resourceful.
I suppose he was able to use it, therefore he is using a resource, ergo he is resourceful. I guess it's very... Again, we want to give you a crew that will have lasting value for veterans, but we can't think of a way to do it for 4 stars that doesn't include, making them gauntlet crew, which we don't want to do. So the only thing we can think of to do is to shove them into a collection that doesn't make sense. Like, Angela Martin, a survivalist, what, because she survives when her husband doesn't? Like,
yeah, I mean, yeah.
Is that the implication there?
I mean, the ship is kind of taken by surprise, and it takes heavy damage from the Romulans. So I can see that one. I can see a road.
By that definition, like, if we ever get baby Naomi Wildman, we should get a survivalist trait for her.
All right, let's not get too grim here. All right.
Jesus. But yeah, no, it's a great scene. I don't know why. Having a badge that transports you anywhere seems like such a weird kind of gimmick, but it kind of works, and they don't.
I would find that incredibly useful.
Yeah, and they don't do any explain about it or use it as any kind of plot hooks. It just does. They just zoom around everywhere. I kind of like that. I mean,
it's the 33rd century or whatever it is. Like, I would hope that the technology has advanced to that point, especially given the fact that in the 24th century, you can live for 80 years in a transporter buffer. Like, I think it's a relatively...
How handy.
I just had a thought. So we have Ardra, who, prior to this big collection push, was very unremarkable, except she happened to be one of the best supporting arena crew, ship crew in the game. You couldn't get that amount of crit boost and speed together anywhere else. When are we going to get more crew like that, especially at the lower rarity levels?
Well, the problem is that requires building crew to be interesting, which they've done with Cunion and to a degree Ogawa, but as we've seen, they do kind of like to copy and paste some of these crew.
I mean, Super Rares are the prime example why you should do things like that. You know, obviously you have the cards for the new players and you put them in the campaigns or you put them in the easy to get events, but I think having, we need more Super Rare cards that have that Ardra utility or even sort of gauntlet abilities like Mirror Flocks, but you're right, there aren't enough of that kind of unique ability. Like Mirror Flocks gets the advantage of being a 2-skiller with amazing gauntlet rolls and a lot of 45 and 65% chances, and rightfully so gets the accolades for it, but there isn't a lot else out there other than those two, really.
So I don't think any of us were playing at the very beginning, but I remember hearing that they actually had nerfed Mirror Flocks at some point.
Yeah. I think he's better than some goals, wasn't he?
Yeah, so they have so much unexplored design space with... when's the last great 2-skiller gold we had? Regency Riker, you can kind of use him Gauntlet.
Interesting,
but it was really 2018 when you had Augment, O'Brien, and 8472, Species 8472. I think they were in consecutive events, too.
Yeah.
You can actually still use them in Gauntlet if you want. Plus, O'Brien has a couple other things. Like, guys, put a little bit of something. Like, you can still print 2-skill crew. People won't hate them if they're actually... People don't hate them because they have 2 skills. They hate them because they're not usable. And if you put a little effort into making them Gauntlet or super trait rich or an arena crew, like, there's so much you can do with that.
Well, see, no one ever complains about Rurapenthe Kirk because there's nothing to complain about. The utility is obvious, but people complain about T'Pring because, well, they finish her, and then it's like, well, I can use her for a little bit, and then what?
Sorry, I'm just advising chat how to link their Discord and Twitch.
You know what would be interesting? So they've been talking for a little while about the possibility of having more things to do with your crew and the possibility of having a secondary voyage, right? And people have been talking about, what about like another 4-star voyages only, or another one for for Fruzen crew? What about 2-skiller only voyages?
Ooh, that would be interesting.
Like, I could see that.
You would go to 12,000 on your feature skill and have 0 on all your ancillary.
You have how I imagine No Name is in the background just having a heart attack at that after the months and months he spent working up the voyage ratings as they are. You're just like, how about we have a separate one for 2-skill? It's like, no!
Don't do this to me!
Amazing. Okay. Before we leave out on our absolutely high note of the big book launching, we're going to play a game. We have... Oh, go on. What's your thing?
Don't forget to play the Lord of the Tears.
Oh, I will. That will be played.
And by the way, have you figured out yet when you're going to release the behind the scenes?
I will put them
the making of
after the show. I will give them the links.
Okay. I've seen it and I've died of laughter watching Idol trying to imitate Gollum.
Yes, there's a little bit of making of. There's also a little bit of making of me transposing Stars' face onto various scenes. Yeah, it's fun. But yes, let's play a game.
Should I be worried about my lightness?
Yes. No, I gave you all the forms about data protection. It's fine. This is legal. You consented when you agreed to talk to me. I was winking at the time. Let's play a game we have not played since possibly the second episode of Timelines Talks, mainly because things are a bit different now. We're going to play Guess with you two guys, not with Chat, because Chat can cheat. You two guys, we're going to play Guess the Tier. Because now the tiers are dynamic and you haven't seen this for a while and everything's a bit unknown. Let's play Guess the Tier. God. So, would you like your first crew? Your first crew, please tell me which tier you think Sulan is in.
Sulan? Okay.
6. He's a sneakily good Gauntleteer, especially because of Med Command. I think he has 2 collections.
Trying to think of what his traits
6.
are.
6.
Physician Bureau. I'm gonna go with tier 8.
Guys, you're so close. He's tier 7.
Should
we go best of 3? We'll see. We get to best of 3. Okay, it might take all night. Okay. Okay, let's go 4. Defensive Flocks.
5.
4.
Congratulations, Stars. You have your first point. Tier 4.
Double collections and romantic. I could see that nudging it a little bit.
Okay. Alternate future Bashir.
Ooh.
Oh God, 9.
I was going to guess 9 as well. I'll say 8 for the purposes of this.
No, that's cheating. You just get closer. All right, I'm going 8 too. I'm not going to lose this.
I forgot how
No, I'll stick with 9.
You stick with 9. What do you go for, Auto?
9. He's 8.
You go 8.
I can't win if we tie. I can only win if I get it. I pick 7 and 9.
You can only pick 1.
7 and 9. Tell us the tier, damn it.
It's 9. Congratulations, Auto.
Yes!
1 all. Okay.
Wait for the translation. Tell me the tier now.
Wait, we need a tiebreaker.
Okay.
And I'll play nice this time.
Dr. Richard Daystrom.
Oh.
9.
Yeah, I was going to say 9 too.
Incorrect. It's 8.
I was just going to say I'll take 8 to break the tie.
Sorry.
All right, one more. We got to break the tie.
We got to break the tie. Let me find one that's interesting. Ooh, Twilight to Pol.
4. By the way, there have been crew that like we're moving stuff over and between the books or whatever, and there will be like a 9-tier gap between some of these crew because they hadn't been updated for a while. So this legitimately is kind of.
I'll say 5.
What did you say, Otto?
4.
Congratulations, Stars. 2-1.
Oh.
2-1. We'll go to 3.
Wait, I thought you said best of 3, not first of 3.
Yeah, don't stretch out this torture. I will gladly concede to Stars and Garters as the Lord of the Tiers, the one to slay the Dark Lord Automaton 2000.
Guys, thank you very much for having us. Go to bigbook.app. Bigbook.app. You can load it on phones. Web browsers should work pretty much.
The book, it is big.
It is indeed. Come join the Discord. We have a chat room especially for Big Book discussions. If you have any bugs, issues, complaints, or whatever, come and have a look. If you don't like the spelling, that's also a place to do it as well. Now Auto is using a proper spelling editor and not Reddit.
Or any compliments would also be nice, not just the complaints.
Yeah, we'll take all those on behalf of WRG. And we will be back next week with, I believe we've got Walt Koenig on, not the actor
Walt Koenig. The man who brought us Rachel Antrell's intro.
The man, the myth, the legend.
Everyone's watching to see what you will do.
And if you want to look through the archives, we had our first, our second Star Trek Adventures episode in Stars' Enterprise campaign. We'll be having the third one on the 22nd, so I'm quite excited about that. So,
dude, this last episode was so much fun. We didn't do our first skill roll until like 40 minutes because we were just completely.
That's how you know it's a good game. If you're having that much fun, you don't need to roll dice for a while.
So yes, we'll be.
I'm so much proud of getting shy with the prank call. Incidentally, guys, if you're not interested in tabletop at all, I understand it's not for everyone, but please watch them. These guys, they are the fucking funniest
Dude, it was
motherfuckers
just
on the
it
planet.
was just Trek jokes. It was very little actual tabletopping.
Just watch it for
Yeah.
sorry, not stars, for Shy's driving.
Yeah.
That cracked me up just so much.
Dude, he's the best like backup driver I've ever seen. Like that was so realistic. I felt I was the fuzzy dice hanging on his rearview mirror.
And we've got all that. And we'll be back next week. Keep an eye on the Discord for more event information. But from we'll play you the Lord of the Tears video in a minute. But from us all, we will see you next week. Ta-ra!
You're muted.
You muted.
Next time on Star Trek: The Next Generation.
What am I doing here?
Commander Data is held hostage by powerful aliens.
If I help you escape, will you take me with you?
Will he break free and survive his capture? Or will he face death trying to escape?
No life signs.
Find out on the next exciting episode of Star Trek: The Next Generation.
She loved him once.
It can't be.
But when Kira's dead lover appears to be resurrected,
Security, we have a hostage.
I don't think Bral ever intended to hurt me.
falling for him again could be fatal.
You're refusing to press charges.
Is this mirror universe double
I'm a thief.
orchestrating the ultimate double cross?
Think of it, the wealth, the power.
On the next Star Trek Deep Space Nine. Against the greatest odds,
Get us out of here.
the crew of Voyager is coming back to Earth.
Where are we? Los Angeles.
There's only one problem.
The year is 1996.
Now, trapped in the past.
They're about to cause a terrible disaster.
Can they stop a deadly adversary from destroying the future?
Kill them! Get down!
On the next Star Trek Voyager.
The world is changed. I feel it in the bases. I feel it in the voyage score. I smell it on the artwork. Much that once was is lost. For none now live who remember it. It began with the forging of the Great Book. 3 tiers were given to the Voyagers, immortal, wisest, and fairest of all beings. 7 to the Event Crew, great miners and craftsmen of the cryostasis vault. And 9 tiers were gifted to the race of Warves, who above all else desire power. For within these tiers was bound the strength and will to govern each voyage. But they were all of them deceived. For another book was made. In the land of Google, in the fires of Mount Sheets, Dark Lord Automaton forged in secret a master book to control all others. And into this book he poured his hyperlinks, his dad jokes, and his will to dominate all crew discourse. One book to rule them all. One by one, the free lands of timelines fell to the power of the book. But there were some who resisted. A last alliance of men and elves marched against the armies of Automaton, and on the slopes of Mount Sheets, they fought for the freedom of timelines.
Yeah, you're a fucking nerd.
Victory was near.
But the power of the book could not be undone. It was in this moment, when all hope had faded, that Starzangarta's son of the king took up his father's sword. Automaton, the enemy of the free peoples of timelines, was defeated. The book passed to Starzangartas, who had this one chance to destroy evil forever. But the hearts of war fans are easily corrupted, and the big book has a will of its own. It betrayed Stars to his death. And some things that should not have been forgotten were lost. History became legend, legend became myth, and for 2,500 years the book passed out of all knowledge. Until, when chance came, it ensnared a new bearer. The ring came to the creature Idol, who took it deep into the tunnels of the misty spreadsheets, and there it consumed him. The book brought to Idol unnatural long voyages. For 500 years it poisoned his mind, and in the gloom of Idol's man cave, it waited. Darkness crept back into the forests of the world. Rumor grew of a shadow in the east, whispers of a nameless fear. And the big book of Behold Advice perceived. Its time had now come. It abandoned Idol. But something happened then the book did not intend. It was picked up by the most unlikely creature imaginable.
What's this?
A hobbit. No-name namer of the Shire.
A big book.
For the time will soon come when hobbits will shape the tears of all.